Happy Monday. Welcome, friends. Welcome, Kem. What's up, brother? Oh, I am having some difficulty hearing you. This is strange. Yeah. Houston, we have a problem.
Hola. Testing. You can hear me now, right?
One more time.
You can hear me now, right?
There you are. What's up, brother?
I'm good, brother. Sorry, my receiver for my mic wasn't on, and then I realized my mic was also dead. So because we were talking on Zoom. Anyway, I'm here now. It's like, yeah.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, dude, exactly. I'm still recovering from the weekend. But
party too hard?
Not really. I'm just old. I don't have to party hard to need recovery. Like I can just like go out for a casual walk and come back and be like 3 days of like being in bed sore. I'm like broken. Yeah, like I'm not. Yeah,
just glitch catting too hard lately.
Yeah, just glitching. Yeah, exactly. So no, it's been good, and obviously we've been busy, right? But I feel like we're over that hump now, so that's good. It feels like we've kind of got to the point where we're able to do some cool things, so that's been fun. So yeah, just kind of getting to the usual rhythm. Coding.
What are you working on right now?
Well, obviously we're doing the we've got the hackathon entry to a pretty good spot, I think.
Yep.
Starting to take shape. I'm really happy with that.
And the hackathon, for anyone that isn't in it or doesn't know, it's a hackathon for finding trending AI news.
Yeah.
Topics.
Yeah. We could even talk about it. And then I've just been architecting the changes as a result of the -p agent SDK stuff for glitch MVP. So that's cool. So I think I've managed to plan what I think is the right solution, and now I just need to try it and then UAT it and just bulldoze through it and hopefully pick up all the bugs and issues as I do it. Because we're vibe coding, baby. So some of that, you just got to kind of do your best in the functional spec and then pray. So
yeah. Bugs are part of it. Bugs are part of it.
Bugs are fine. Bugs are fine. I'm more concerned about assumptions that you can't verify, like runtime stuff, that you can't really verify it until you just do it. Like you just can't. You can plan for it until the sun goes down. You can look at all the documentation. You can try and code something beautiful, and then some .dll messes you up. Like, there's just really not much you can do. Like, so yeah, so I'm pretty much at the stage now where I'm quite happy to just YOLO, auto mode, and just like go. So yeah, we could maybe do some of that today as well.
Sweet, man. Yeah, we'll definitely have to jump into some of that. I'm excited to see what you've built out there.
Yeah. Just just keep going. We're nearly at that point now where we get to do the fun stuff.
Oh, the fun stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy this stuff too, but like, that's why I think that's why I've liked the hackathon, because it's been cool. Like I've been looking at some other entries, like their progress reports and stuff, and they're doing some cool stuff too. Yeah, like agent integration stuff and stuff. And I was just thinking, like, that's cool. So a lot of people are doing some cool things. So that's going to be cool. Hopefully we can learn some like neat little tricks here and there. Yeah, it's just such a big problem, isn't it?
It really is a big problem. It depends on, there's so many different levels that you can go into whenever talking about either platform specific or style specific, whether it's text, reels, videos.
Yeah, that's true. It's like
there's a lot of different types of data out there, and
yeah,
small
and I think
niches.
what we've built is cool because it kind of addresses it takes the view that like this is a big data problem, and then therefore what are techniques within big data or data science that can help us solve them. And then it's kind of like splitting it down into three things, right? Like harvesting, which is all the technical challenges around how you get the data, like you said, like all this cross-platform, no APIs, scraping, TikTok, getting videos, understanding the video because it's video. So like, then how do you process that? And then, and then like synthesizing. And then that's like all the maths, all the functions, all the data science stuff, because you're trying to work out what's relevant, what's not, signal noise. And then, being a little bit directed, like what's industry news, what's trending with features, GitHub repos, security issues, and then within those, where's the overlap? And then it's the sheer volume of data to synthesize, right? I was saying to you, like, how many we had, like, per day podcast pulls was like, what, 60 plus podcasts a day?
Yeah, I think it was like 62 or so.
Yeah, so that's just like in the podcast section. So it's like you've got to synthesize thousands of hours of content, and it's like, how do you do that? Like, some people think, you can just get transcripts. Well, that's partly true if you can deal with the technical problem, but then if you've got those transcripts, it's like, how do you synthesize that? That's millions and millions of tokens. So it's like you have to have this really, there's all these little problems that compound into it just being hard. And the obvious thing that everyone does is just give me what's trending in AI, enter. And then web fetches a few articles, checks Reddit, checks Hacker News, TechCrunch, and just goes, here you go, and everyone's like, oh, look, I've made a system. Now I'm going to put it in a skill. And when I just click this, /AI trends, it just does all these like amazing, interesting searches, and then puts confidence ratio. It's like, that's not giving you what you think it is. It's giving you noise. You might, maybe not always, but
yeah, more times than not, it's not actually going to give you reliable signals.
Yeah, it doesn't. And also, you don't have the foundation to then actually build trend analysis systems like machine learning and probability engines. Like, what is the likelihood of this happening in the future? Well, no one can build a system that can predict what's going to go viral based on a huge amount of data that they have today. You have to check the regression. So you either source backdated data, but in AI that doesn't work because backdated data is literally like 2 weeks old in AI is like a month old in tech, which is like 3 months old in celebrity, which is like, it's like, so it's like you can't really do that. So you have to kind of start testing ideas iteratively and constantly, which means it's something you can only develop over time. But you can at least build the foundations for predictors based on what's currently going on. And then, and I think that's what we've done, which I think is super cool. And we've just used I think what's nice was we've just used really core like data tried and tested modeling, like not tried to like re-engineer. We've not asked AI to create confidence scores and all of this kind of stuff, which is just it's just goo goo gaga stuff,
especially on quality data.
It just makes up a number. How the hell does it know? What's its reference? It's different if you can structure it in a way that's like, this is something that I see as a high signal and this is why, and you can measure it here, and if you research and check this against this and against this, and the correlation figure is close to 1 and then predict it as 5+. If you give it the function, then AI is great, it can do it. But if you're just asking it just to like you know, in the air, you're not going to get anything meaningful. Yeah. It's like asking AI to predict you the lottery numbers. Yeah.
You know, it might be able to, and it might be able to actually convince you that you have a better chance with those numbers. But
we should do that. That's the fact. Remind me to do that for whatever we code. Remind me to ask it for the lottery numbers and see what it says. I think Claude will say, "Let's make some let's make some bets." I think Claude will say, "I don't think I'm technically able to the lottery numbers." I reckon it will do that.
Yeah, we might have to do a little prompt engineering to try and give it a push to actually give us.
Like we'll say things like, "There must be some deep mathematical concept for what is more likely, despite the fact that the odds are really high." And it'll go off and do research and come and go, "Well, there is this one theory," and you're right. So based on that, it'll just go down this hallucination chain, and just suddenly, but by the end of it, it'll be trying to gaslight us into thinking it actually can do it.
And gaslighting us to go and buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, but the only thing is you have to buy 100,000 tickets. Otherwise, probabilistically, it doesn't work. And
now it might actually be accurate. If it starts telling me that, then I'll have more confidence in
that's
it.
the concern, because we all know that's not true, right? The best way to increase your odds mathematically of winning the lottery is to go from not having a ticket to buying a ticket, right? That's obviously from 0 to something, right? But then the next jump that's meaningful in percentage or likeliness to win is extortionate. So it's like you have to buy to have it. So you go from one ticket, then you have to buy like $500,000 worth for it to be meaningful increase in chance. And even then it's small, relatively. So it's like, the best thing you can do is, if you want to increase your odds with best bang for buck by a large margin, no ticket, buy a ticket, done. Call it a day. One ticket, random numbers, forget about it, and maybe you get lucky.
Maybe you get lucky.
Yeah, unless you're playing like, games that are more like level set, like 50, like Baccarat, something like that, whereas the odds are like a lot more reasonable.
Did I ever tell you that I played on a Baccarat team?
You did. You mentioned that
in Vegas.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. It's a really good game, man. Like I do like it. Like, it's a really good game. It's about, like, if I'm going to play in a casino, I'm either going to play poker, as long as I'm on a table against other players, and Baccarat, I think, is probably the only two I play. I might play blackjack just for fun. But realistically, it's those two. If I want to try and win money, it's going to be those two. But I'm not very good. I can't count cards or anything.
Well, and casinos hate poker.
Yeah.
They hate it because they don't make very much money off poker. They only make small blind, big blind, and that's guaranteed. And then whatever people tip after they win their hand. So the reason they keep poker, though, is it attracts dads, like families, So then you get more families that come and visit the hotel because the dads want to play poker.
And then mummy goes on the slots.
Either that or the mall that's connected to it.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Vegas living.
There's a guy on that I see sometimes on YouTube. He's like tatted up, and he's always got these like viral videos of him just saying how he like walks into casinos and walks out with just like bags of cash, and he's like been banned in loads of places.
Mickey,
that's
yeah. So the funny thing is that his dad is actually a casino owner in Vegas.
Wow.
So there is some speculation as to how much of that is just cap.
That's interesting. If his dad's a casino owner, he could easily make those videos with him with all that wads of cash. Yeah.
I think he's actually a legitimate legitimate player, but he's not Dan Bilzerian, who
I know that he was
a pro poker player.
Yeah, I know he was actually, but he doesn't play. He plays Baccarat, and but I know he was banned at Hearts in London, which is like a big like, it's like the casino that, like, it's like the nice one, what the high rollers, and I know he was banned there. They had him on the ban list.
Interesting.
So yeah, and he's also banned in Monte Carlo, and I know that for certain. So I mean, if you're going to ban someone, If it's just fake, I don't know. Would you ban someone for fake? Maybe just because he's an Instagram personality. Maybe just they want him in there recording stuff.
I think he also exposed some industry secrets.
Yeah, a lot
at one point. Yeah, quite a few of them, which that might have also gotten. Yeah, that might have also gotten him in some.
Yeah, he's cool. He calls out the casinos for their little tricks, right?
Yeah,
they have all these little tricks that aren't technically illegal, but they're like really
morally,
like
yeah,
like verging on like being crooks.
Pure, yeah,
not a magnet on the roulette table kind of thing, but more like they don't like they'll cheat, like someone's on a hot streak, they can't work out if they're cheating or not, and so they'll like change, they'll reshuffle, like on blackjack, which they have the right to do, but it's bad etiquette.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
or
like,
they'll change out whoever the dealer is. The pit boss will come over and say that they need a dealer change, and then it just like throws off the rhythm of the game.
Yeah,
like
or the dealer starts to deal from the bottom. Which again isn't illegal, but they shouldn't do it. You know, so it's like, you know, that's why people start saying, I want hit me from the top, because they make a point of saying like, hit me from the top. I don't want, because once the card's turned, it's turned, right? So if someone deals you from the bottom and then you strike out, and then you're like, you know, like what you've dealt from the bottom, it's like, is it a problem? We shuffled the cards, you know, and you're just like, you slimy little, you know. There's all sorts of little tricky, and good dealers. It's funny, isn't it? Like good dealers have high loss ratios. Why is that? Like, I've never understood that. Like, good dealers that have like loss ratios, like if they're dealing, players lose more. Why? I've never understood that. Like, what is that about? Why is that even a metric? Is that like how good they are, how lucky they are for the casino? Or is that because they're good at implementing tricks?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a weird metric, man. It's like a really corrupt system, isn't it?
It really is. And at the end of the day, it's pretty simple too. It's all just rooted back to the bottom dollar. So at the end of the day,
what do you mean by that?
I mean, the entire structure is defined by essentially capitalism, right? How much money is being made by the casino. And so anyone that works for the casino, that as long as they're not doing something that is illegal, that the casino could get in trouble for, if they are making the casino more money and they are not doing something illegal, immediately they have more value to the casino. So it's kind of perpetuating that sketchy, immoral.
No, but it is mental, right? So I'll give you an example of this, right? This is mental to me, right? It's basically a license to print money. Like, I was thinking about this, right? So in England, we have these online casinos, right? Like online slots and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, the first feeling you get when you hear online is like, you think, well, that's going to be easy to game, right? But they're really heavily regulated, right? Like, the code has to be read to be seen as like not cheating people, right? And the way they do it is the same way that like fruit machines work in pubs in the UK. Because in pubs, there's lots of fruit machines, like slots machines in pubs. It's really common that you put in like the equivalent of like $1 or whatever, and that's one credit, and that's one spin or whatever, or 3 spins, and then, you know, you put in more and so on. And they have these like jackpots at like $20, $50, like nothing major, right? $100 most, right? And the way these systems work is they're literally configured to have a 48% payout, and that's legal. So it's just a case of time. Like, it's just like, it will always take and win money. It just needs people to play, and eventually it does pay out, and it does pay out up to 48, 46%. And they have to, by law, put a sticker on the machine that says how much its percentage is. And so they do this, and then digital casinos are the same. So every game they have is rigged in their favor. They will always make money, more money than they lose, without a doubt, like codified, right? But they will pay out sometimes, and sometimes people will pay £1 and win $100, right? It's just how the system works, right? So it's not like we take from you and you always lose. We take overall, right? And then we give out randomly, you know, there's a chance.
Few people win,
and they can be bigger, and you know, it's all very carefully crafted to like make you want to keep playing and all that kind of stuff, right? It's like deep algorithms, right? Like this stuff on like the digital ones are like they even have like your user, your access, like how much you need to win to keep playing, what are you likely to lose before you give up. Like they monitor all that stuff. Like they know you inside out as a gambler. And so it's like really, really, really manipulative. But I just find it amazing. It's like I'm going to set up a system where I have to pay for marketing, right? But assuming I can get someone involved in this very addictive practice, I cannot lose.
As soon as they're in, yep. As soon as they are in, then we're guaranteed.
Guaranteed to make money. Every time someone clicks a button, we're making money. That's just crazy.
Mathematically, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's provable too. It's not even like
no. It's mathematics code.
Yeah, it's
legal and open and transparent, and no one's lying. It's just, and people still do it. You know your odds are 48% or lower. That's why Baccarat is so popular, because it's basically 50-50 with the casino. It's one of the only, like, what else is there?
Well, and so blackjack, you can get slightly higher odds if you're a whale. If you're a high spender, you can negotiate the rules with them. So on like small little things, there was a really interesting YouTube video on a guy, this was probably 10 years ago, that he got banned from playing. I think he had been banned, maybe not, but he would bring like $1 million, $2 million and play blackjack. And his whole thing, I remember one of the many things that he implemented was he would just double every time.
Yeah. So doubling functions, as long as there's no hard limits, like or the limits are high. Yeah, you bet $2, you lose. You bet $4, you lose. You bet $8, you lose. You bet $16, you lose. You bet $32, you win. You're up. Back to $2, $2, $4. Keep going. Every time you lose, double. Eventually, you'll win. Back. You have an awful losing streak. You're on like 50,000 bet. Doesn't matter. As long as you keep going and there's no limit, you'll always kind of accrue.
Yeah.
You would need, like, if you've got a really high limit and a really big wallet, in theory, you'd have to lose like 150 consistent rounds.
Yeah.
Which is the probability of.
Mathematically,
that's why they don't do it, right? They usually, what happens is they limit the limits of what hit you. So you'll start betting $2, but the limit on the table will be 100. And so you lose 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 60s, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Then you're just losing, right? So you're already in like $200, $300. You're already down. Like, it gets painful very quickly, and that can definitely happen. Like I've had losing streaks like that. I've had like 6, 7 in a row. You're just getting stung, and you're just like, oh my goodness. You're just like, okay, one more, last one, and I'm calling it. You do it, and then you're like, oh, and you're walking out of the casino, and you've got like just like $100 left or whatever, and you see red, black, the roulette's going, and you just go, oh, fuck it, all of it on there, yeah. And you're just like, oh no, I've lost it all. My life's over. Show me the way to the bridge. I'm ready to unalive. Let's go.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I have a really good story. It's not TOS appropriate, but I was at a festival and with an ex, and had taken some things, and they were on a timeline to hit. And this was during the time that I was training to play in a Baccarat tournament in Vegas, right? At one of the casinos. So I was there was a team of us, and we were training 3 or 4 times a week, going over to one of my buddies' places. A bunch of them were professional poker players. We all met, or a lot of us met in math, actually, funny enough, at UNLV. So my mind was really thinking gambling, right? And we're at this festival, taking some things, and there's this, what was it? It was almost like a Monopoly where you have to go all the way around this square, and you got 100, there were like 100 slots to get all the way around, right? And if you got all the way around, you won, and what you won was either it was $100 per entry that you had done, or like an iPad, right? Which was worth more than 100, but you'd have to go sell it and stuff. The thing is it doubled the amount that you had to do every time, and started with $2, right? And so there was this popcorn of little ping pong balls that they would scoop with that you would scoop with the net, and then they would read off like what it was, like plus 12, right? Or back whatever, One of them was none of the negatives will affect you anymore, which was like a really rare one to get. If you got that one, it was like, oh, you just have to keep playing, and like you're gonna get, as long as you have enough money, like you will get to the end now, because you can't be restarted, you can't be minus 20. Like, so I got that, right? And I got to, I think it was about 74. So I'm like 26 away, and I had doubled my money 8 times. So I'd win $800. Right. And I was, I think, spending $80 on the bet. So I spent $80. I remember I got some crappy like +2. I'm at like 76, and I don't have enough. I don't have $160 cash with me to do the next one. So I asked the guy, I was like, hey, can I go to an ATM and can I pull some money? He's like, yeah, but you can only leave the table one time. I'm like, okay. So my ex and I go to the ATM, and I pull out money, and I didn't realize that card only had like $300 left on it, that debit card in that account, right? I was young. So I pulled out all the money I had. I went, put $160 on the next one, got to like 92.
No.
Didn't have enough money to do it again.
No.
The guy felt so bad. He gave me this pillow. I'll have to show you it sometime. It's a little emoji with a kissy face, a winky kiss kissy face. Because the guy
That's what he gave you.
He gave me that as a consolation prize. But what I was supposed to get, if I had won, it would have been $1,600.
I would have just shouted to someone and just been like, dude, pay for me to do one more round because I've guaranteed this money.
Well, unfortunately,
pay for me and I'll give you the money afterwards. Like,
unfortunately, the substances were hitting. My girlfriend at the time was thinking, what are you doing? You're just throwing money at this. And I'm thinking, I can't go backwards. I just have to get to I just have to get to the end. And
got played.
Well, and the $160, it would have been $1,600 payout. So then if I would have been able to do the 320, it would have been a $3,200 payout. So it was a 10x payout basically, right? Yeah. Anyways,
that's wild.
And I now at least have the emoji pillow as a memory of that story.
That's wild. I once auctioned myself off in a charity auction.
Kem, are we? I know I definitely bordered on.
I once auctioned myself off in a charity auction, and the person that outbid the person was this. Anyway, that's a story for another time.
Yeah, can you imagine jumping in day 8 of Jarvis and we're listening to stories about gambling?
Should we do some vibe coding stuff?
Let's do some more. We're human. We got other.
What should we do?
Other edges as well. What are you feeling? Are you you want to go over the hackathon, or let's just start? Let's start coding.
Yeah, let's do. Let's just update on the hackathon and then
hackathon first.
Yeah, let's kind of get it out the way.
Cool. Let me know whenever. Yeah, let me know whenever you're ready on your screen and all.
I'm ready. I mean, we can. I don't mind how we do it.
Cool.
You want to share my screen? I could do that, and then I could do.
Here you go. I just pulled it over.
Yeah.
Screen up.
So this is I should probably let me do. Yeah. So this is where we got to with the report, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do a proper. I think we'll do a proper. We'll do a proper explanation of all this when we're done. But in a nutshell, we've got this. We've got this. I guess in 30 seconds, we've got this pipeline that pulls nested reply threads across loads of social media, classifies every reply, surfaces ratioed posts where engagement looks high but reception is negative. And I don't think any kind of AI summary tool can really do that today. Then we listen to podcasts, 60 plus per cycle. We transcribe them using Grok's Whisper. we cluster them with AI like Claude and other things, using a whole bunch of deep data science principles, right? We resolve the same story across formats for heterogeneity or whatever it's called, right? 60 episodes. We do a lot of like data stuff. You know, we check for things like heteroscedasticity and all sorts of other interesting things. And then we make sure that it's like byte identical reproducible. So in a nutshell, we grab loads of data, right, to try and really understand what's going on in the world of AI. That is more than just asking for web fetch. And what we land with every time is a report that looks exactly like what you got in the screen. It's the same every time. It has, this is the report here, by the way, just this bit, these little 6 sections, right, which are hot in podcast features and flags, industry news, security, GitHub, and one to watch. And they're all like little design systems for those specific subtopics because of the nature of the way the data is. But up here is the pipeline. So in this particular test run, we scraped 1,340 events, right, across X, TikTok, Instagram, podcast, plus 6 others. And you know, events can be huge data sets, right? Loads of transcripts. We clustered them, we synthesized them, and then we rendered them into this format, right? And this is just a health check for me to see what's going on. So you can see I've got a few issues here we need to iron out, but that's okay. And from a data perspective, like a data provenance perspective, again, this is just to help me, like as we do this is our signal to noise metric. And so 12.9% of data is generally signal within the entire batch, which is quite interesting because that's really high. So that kind of indicates that there's a real following the herd sheep stuff going on, right? Like when one person latches onto an idea, everyone just kind of latches onto it. And we know that because that's evidenced in the way reactors and creators post, right? This number here is the key number. The closer you are to 1, the more people are just focusing on one single topic over the span of the data set, which is about a week. And then, of course, this is sentiment. So this is saying that along these very high-level topics, like, for example, Agent SDK, there is red, negative sentiment, and there's a lot of mixed sentiment, and overall within them, what is the general trend, right? And across how much engagement, right? 284K engagement points or 545,000 engagement points. So what I'm saying is a lot of data, a lot of sentiment management. And how does that actually look visually, right? When you actually plot that data, and what you start to see is real signal, right? Like, you know, you can see these big clusters, they're like the themes, and there's a lot of noise in the periphery as plotted. And then you get this like, this kind of attrition that is like the signal, right? And these are the sub-themes. Some of these labels are wrong because they haven't updated because I haven't put that in the code yet. But the actual graph is correct, right? It's a real data populated graph. So that's nice. It's just a bit of like data provenance. So I'm really happy about that. I think I went over that in the past. This is just some other stuff that we don't have to worry about.
Hey, one thing, and I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but just to key in on it for anyone that tunes in the report breakdown, if you could open that bad boy back up. Yeah, I absolutely love
yeah, this is insane.
Yeah, the sentiment analysis and how you could use that in creating content.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, think about it, and not you, Kem, but for anyone, you know, think about how
and me.
You
don't leave me out.
You've already thought, oh, okay, I won't leave you out, but I won't leave you out. But if you think about, you know, whenever you're posting, you don't want to be too overly negative, overly positive. You don't want to be biased one way or the other and look like you're not credible because of that. And this is a great way to post in a really well thought out manner and balance that positivity with the negativity.
when it's worth being negative, right? When the trend in negativity kind of justifies pushing back against like the labs or something like that, versus when it's not, and looking what general sentiment is interesting. Yeah. Could you pass me a Diet Cola, dude?
Yeah, here you go. Oh,
cheers.
Cheers.
We'll get better at that.
Yeah.
I gotta get used to that. Yeah,
I think something got switched.
Thanks,
I thought we were.
Yeah. So negative sentiment, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's right. So yeah, report breakdown. So this is called data, right? Like, again,
Ooh.
you don't.
Sorry, one other thing I thought of just whenever we were looking at it too is maybe you want to report on something that's mixed, right? And everything that you've seen and you've looked at, let's say like Codex Mobile, you've seen everything has been negative or more on the mixed negative. But here the sentiment shows, hey, it's actually mixed positive. Instead of that's a good going point out there and
so mixed, because just so people don't understand, this is so red is, I know these colors aren't great. Red is negative sentiment. So Opus 4.7 generally, people were generally negative about it, but the light brown is mixed. So it's saying even though people were mostly negative about it, it was really close. It was like kind of 50-50. It was like mixed, right? And something like the Codex Mobile, it's mixed in general, right? But it's more leaning towards being positive overall, right? So just a lot of people vocally complaining, right? Which is another data issue, right? Because people love to post when they complain and don't like to post when they're happy. They just get on with it and enjoy it. That's kind of a common theme. So yeah, that's right. And so that's how to read that in case you're watching this and thinking, what's going on?
Yeah, there was something else there too I was just thinking about, but
I'm just trying to zoom the screen up. There we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. We can always come back. So all of this stuff is just kind of the back end, if you like a visual back end for like what we're doing. But actually, here's the actual report, and it's in these 6 sections. And there's a few small little neat things that I think are cool to highlight. So Hot in Podcasts is kind of its own little thing, right? Because podcasts kind of aggregate. They're like aggregators, right? So like on podcasts, you'll have people talking about what's hot in the news. They might talk about a feature. They might do some work. There's so many, different angles, right? They might complain a bit. They might,
Yeah.
So they're kind of an aggregator. So you don't really look at them in isolation, but what's interesting about them is the overall themes across all of them, right? And that's a really good indicator for what's kind of a strong signal. So what this does is, because there's so much to synthesize here, like I said, thousands of hours to listen to these podcasts, this does this great scan across, like, say, 60 odd podcasts. In fact, the podcasts, there's a great banner that pops up down here. There we go. And this is the whole bunch of different podcasts, right? But basically, these podcasts occur, and it just takes the signal from them. So where there's mathematical coherence and sentiment, and what this does is gives me a little tip of like what's worth listening to, what's worth skimming, and so on. So that's pretty neat. It gives me the high level. So let's take the first one, for example. It says the AI job apocalypse narrative is visibly cracking. So some people might have already noticed this one, right? So this is the idea that people like Dario and whatever else are like, they've been saying AI is going to take all the jobs. And now everyone's like, that's not a positive for AI. I know you're trying to flex on us how good AI is, and you thought that would be a selling point, but now everyone's getting pissed off with that narrative, right? So that's what it's about. But what's neat about this, what I thought was really cool, is it gives me a quote. So AI argues AI generates net new job categories rather than just eliminating them, right? And then there's this listen button, right? So what I think is really neat about this is it doesn't just take me to the specific podcast, which would be neat anyway, because then you've got some good governance around your data, right? You know how AI likes to make up citations and things like that. But say this one here, Claude Mythos cybersecurity hype versus real threat. If I click on this, it takes me, sorry for the ad.
Takes you straight to a commercial. Not even for us.
To the exact point the podcast where that specific thing.
Oh, that's sexy.
Right. So that one is something that I think is pretty neat here. But like I said, this section is mostly an aggregator, and it was just like I can't leave it out because it was pretty neat. So I just left it there.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, one idea I just had of something that we should add in here that'd be pretty sweet is if there were, let's say, almost like a tooltip, little info thing that you could hover over and it just popped up and gave you a brief breakdown of what like the top 3 to 5 bullet points of whatever that story were, just to quickly look through them and be like, okay, I know everything about that one. I know everything about that one. And specifically, I was really curious about the China one because I haven't paid any attention to
Which one's that?
Trump's visit to China.
Oh, yeah. So,
and all of the CEOs that went. And
so this is a geopolitical one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is obviously quite a big one, but this was that Trump visited China, right, for the first time in a while, right?
Yeah.
And previously hostile to AI safety language is pivoting to embrace it as a geopolitical tool for competing with China. So this was the fact that Trump basically brought all his like AI people with him, right? Mm-hmm. To basically say, we can collaborate, we can work with you, but China has to start working with us. It was that kind of a thing, because obviously a lot of this stuff is American, right? American owned. And of course, there's China fighting for Taiwan and all that drama.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, though, China doesn't even fight for Taiwan. That's one thing that's really interesting is that in order to trade with China, you have to acknowledge that Taiwan is a part of China. And so the U.S.
But that's the point. Taiwan would disagree.
Yeah, but
they are part.
But that's
of China.
what I'm saying is that the U.S. does trade with China, which means that the U.S. by doing trade with China is acknowledging that China.
Yeah, but it's not an official approval if you can take Taiwan.
Well, it's official from China's perspective. I mean, because like what's official?
Yeah, but it's but it's this, right? It's not. They're not taking action. Anyway, let's not get into geopolitics. Yeah.
But it is interesting because there's like a dozen countries that don't trade with China, and they also don't recognize Taiwan as part of it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of smoke and mirrors. But
can you hear this when I'm playing it or no? Mm-mm. You can't hear it through the speaker.
No,
that's interesting. We need to fix that so I can actually show you what the audio is like. Yeah, we'll do that another time. But it's basically, they explain it really nicely actually here, if you're interested. So this is on no priors. So yeah, this is great. This is a really cool. Look at us just getting into like politics. We can't keep straight on anything, can we? We're just like all over the place.
Hey, that one's actually really important. Okay, Taiwan and the chips being created.
Yeah, but there's like 3-hour geopolitical like commentators talking about this stuff, and we're like some AI guys, right? It's like, but I think the point though is relevant that like US-China AI geopolitics reshaping safety policy is about right. Anyway, it recommends have a listen. So you should maybe have a listen. Just have a little click on it and have a listen.
I like how some say skim too. It's not have a listen. It's just we should just skip that one.
Yeah. Just skim it because it's got some good stuff, but nothing major. Skim. Most of them are skim, to be fair. There's only a few that are listening. Anyway, so that's the aggregator, and then we've got this super cool section. The reason features and flags exists is this is more like for the real kind of content creation machine. It's like what's really like driving content, like posts people are making that people are commenting on, tutorials, all that kind of jazz.
Shiny objects, features and flags.
Shiny object, exactly.
Shiny object
exactly.
category.
Yeah, exactly. So what's neat about this one is this is where we show off our ability to scrape, right, with our custom actors. You can, by the way, do a lot of this with like Appify. I haven't tested it extensively. There's a couple of actors in there you can do that are pretty neat. Like you can probably get away with similar quality, but I think you're going to have to fiddle around, right? But this is really nice, and this just shows what it's doing is linking the commentary across platforms, right? And this is that nested logic as well that comes to shine, because you don't just see like these things. It actually looks at replies.
I love the way it's rendering too.
Yeah, rendering with the embeds is really cool. Gosh, have you lost me?
Nope, got you there.
Okay, I'm frozen on my screen, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's always when I mess around over here. Yeah, my computer's froze. Let's try and fix this. Here we go. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so yeah, something going on in my computer. I got too many things running. So the embedding is really cool, and this is the bit that I think we showed before, not the goals actually. This part, this is where it really shines. Is like this sentiment map. So like complaint dominant. So it understood that this post. This is a great example of this. I love showing this one off because it's just perfect. So this is the post about Claude changing to programmatic. We've spoken to death about it, but people are angry about it. We were angry about it. But what's interesting about this is it picked up on this, right? You can see that the aggregator was this, this pod and many other pods. This is just the one it picked, complaining, saying, cancel your plan, which makes sense because Theo has a harness of his own that was really reliant on agent SDK and -p. And people loved it and it was doing really well. And he did that and he built that system because of what he was told to do by Claude. So he's particularly affected. Yeah. So he's doing that as his bridge mind, another agent harness, right? But what was interesting about this particular tweet, if I go to it, and again, everything just links together. There's no drama there because it's all verified data. There's no making up citations. Is this post, which is the one in question, wasn't any of the original posts. So a scraper wouldn't find it. This was the post, right? And within this post, which is why it was so manipulative and people got so angry, is not one, not two, but 3 down, there was this post, right? And that's the post that this system of ours picked up on. It was that post, right? And let's read it. It basically says, developers, including Theo, who has 156K engagement podcast, and Omar react to Anthropic's June 15 policy, splitting agent SDK usage from subscription pools, with BridgeMine quantifying 25x cost subsidy loss, etc. Right? So this is getting the negative sentiment, right? And if you want to look into posts and so on. So this is cool. So this is what features and flags are, and it touches you guys might have seen, oh, Claude just released /goal and all that kind of stuff. So it picks up on this kind of stuff. So this section is like content creation signal dream, right? So that's really awesome. Then we have industry news, and what's special about industry news is this is one of the hardest data sets I think we've came across in terms of actually finding signal, because everything is news in AI. Like everyone builds an app, there's agents, that's paid for marketing, that comes up as news. Something on TechCrunch, something on Hacker News, everyone just copies everyone. There's lots of posting, there's lots of AI posting about news and industry, and Gemini just found in their thing that there's a model that says Mythos and it's not pre-Mythos now. And so, all this kind of noise, there's just so much noise. So what we did is we used this substrate that we had to kind of do some entity matching, and it comes up with pretty interesting data points around where the signal is, these little black markers on the visual. And this kind of talks a little bit about the depletion, right? So there's a lot of noise, there's a smaller extraction, there's some deduping, there's so much deduping because there's so many like wordy different ways of explaining the news article, like the headline. It's not very clear to AI. So you have to do these kind of deep reads. So it's quite complicated. And the best way to do that, by the way, is we use a chunking approach. So that's how we did it. So it needs to be refined, but it's pretty good. And then what it does is it just sources them. It then cross-checks them against that huge database we have running for the podcast extractions and harvests, which is a really good base, right? Because as I said, podcasts are aggregators. So it's a really good way to it's like a hack to get it sorted. And what it comes up with is, yes, the AI doom narrative that we saw above, right? That's like an issue. The Trump Xi summit, which again was a big topic in the podcast. We knew that from the hot podcast section. But also the Anthropic drama, right? So you're starting to see how everything kind of pulls together, right? The Anthropic drama, SpaceX compute partnership with Anthropic. We knew about that, but that's kind of hot news. And of course, this little softer legal matter, which is the Elon Musk versus OpenAI trial enters witness stand phase for Musk. So this is a really, really cool section. So this is like just dedicated to more very industry specific news. It doesn't touch on features. It doesn't touch on, you know, any of that stuff. It's more legal, exec, compute, regulatory, geopolitical, so on. It's heavily linked, as you see in the banner, to the podcast domain, right? Then we have this security section, because of course within all this AI news there's always security issues, right? It always makes a thing. And so we took a slightly different take on it, and we just went really like clinical with it. So we just said, let's talk about the big things. We know TANStack is a big one at the moment. And we talk about the severity, we talk about the discussion, we give a recommended move. Sorry. Oh gosh, I've got a phone call coming through. Can you believe it? Okay.
Oh, no.
Let me silence that. So we've got it gives a good breakdown of like, you know, what's going on, what your action should be. We will be implementing mock, means we haven't actually implemented, if anyone's wondering, mock data. But, you know, TANStack advisory, Theo's Converge, or CVE references, things like that. We thought that would be pretty neat, but, you know, nice to have. So anything that has mock on it, that's what's going on. So we just list like 5 or 6 of these, 5 issues, sorry, and that's our security. So we're trying to separate these things, right? Because they're all important, but they can easily, if you just do a new search, you're going to get security, you're going to get industry, you're going to get features, you're going to get, you know, it's a mess. So this is our way of dealing with it. And they all need slightly different systems, right? GitHub's cool because GitHub is all about the repos. You know, what repos are hot right now, you know, and it breaks it down. So we did some good clustering analysis here, and we worked out that generally the trend at the moment is skill ecosystems. So things like Caveman, Graphify, obviously because of Obsidian and all that stuff, garden skills. And then memory is like a different subsection. So MemPalace, Flow Element, LLM Wiki, that kind of stuff, again, linked to Carpathy. Agent security browser, and so we just break down what they are. But what I like most about this section is down here. So this is the magic one check, right? And what this does is it takes the particular item and then it does some cross-checking and then further research, right? So what it works out is it says, what's the verdict for the caveman? Well, it says it's a trick. Right? And so it's like, hold on a second, 60,000 star repo. We know it works. It definitely works because I've used it. But what it says is Talk Like Caveman cuts 65% tokens, but the same trick is achievable in a 6-line prompt per research. Viral as aesthetic, thin as engineering, right? And this is true. There's been some interesting posts about evaluating Caveman and how actually just a 6-line prompt, ironically being more caveman about caveman, like making an actual 6-line prompt is actually, it achieves the same output. It's more about just telling the model's smart enough, just tell the model what you want. And you don't need
caveman meta.
Yeah, caveman meta. MemPalace, it talks about the fact that it claims that it's best benchmarked open source AI memory system, but we could actually do that. We could test against MTEB, Face, ChromaDB. So there's a content angle here. You know, the 52K star memory system that nobody's talking about, does the benchmark hold, right? And then there's some real ones here, like Graphify legit is doing some pretty heavy lifting. Browser use, browser harness, pretty cool. LLM Wiki, potentially pre-viral, but I think it's probably lost its float because the Obsidian Carpathy stuff has been played out to death. It's already in the Hustler domain, but that's another story. We'll talk about that in a minute. And in fact, that links us quite nicely to the last section, which is all about prediction. So one to watch. So what our system has done, inevitably, is it's taken all of this stuff that we've had in subsections, and it's basically now propagated the data, done all this data analysis, and it's saying, I'm predicting that the current propagation, according to the data set, and it's limited, as you see, it's cycle 1 of infinite, right? So the idea is you keep running this, and then the more data, right, then you get to machine learning and self-adjusting models, parameters and stuff like that to try and get it refined. It's saying that I currently guess that things generally start here in the research section. So think attention sinks by Hugh et al., context rot, that kind of stuff, that research academic papers, which we get. There's then design systems like named voice technique, right? So for example, from context rot, the idea of loops as design systems came about, right? Piv loops, Ralph Wiggin loops, this kind of thinking, right? Design-led development in AI and vibe coding. And then repos in development. So repos like GSD, repos like, you know, all these design spec repos that you've seen, you name it, there's so many, you know, superpowers and all that kind of stuff, right? And then if they're really good, the labs actually add them as features and just make these obsolete, like the loop function in Anthropic's Claude or Goal or whatever it is, right? You know, that uses like a Ralph Wiggin loop. And then people around the same time start to build tutorials and lessons, and content creation engine starts to go. And then what's left is this laggard that just goes on forever, basically, which is the hustler economy, where you start seeing loads of like reels of people saying, these are the 5 skills that will change your life. And they'll be talking about like a repo that we've known about for 7 months, right? And it's like that just keeps propagating. So that's the theory. So based on that, it then makes some predictions, right? So AI trending, right? So it predicts ahead, right? Post curve, and it takes some reference points to do that. It then looks at likely surfacing based on a number of features. Then today's current signals, what it's learned from the current data set, and then the hustler zone, right? And so, and it says here in the hustler zone, Sabrina Ramanov posts like 10 times better GPT outputs with these simple tricks, right? So no disrespect, Sabrina, we love you, but you know, the data. So and then it makes some predictions. No comment, Chase?
Savage.
What? I didn't say anything. So
would you like a Coke? Would you like a Coke?
Yeah, I'd like some Coke. Thanks. Appreciate that. Cheers. And then we're able to predict some things, right? So what it then does is it makes some predictions. It's predicting ahead that incognito chat that Meta's looking at, like data protection, talking with AI models, is going to be something that's going to start to surface. It talks about the idea of the research currently trending, so data to action, which is you know, a report we should see. We probably want to put some links to these. Actually, we've got some mock outcomes here at the moment. We predict ahead with ArcSieve. So this is an interesting one. I think this one's already starting to propagate. So from the time that we actually posted this, it's already starting, right? So it's really interesting.
And this was something that you mentioned, man, I want to say 2 weeks ago to me.
Yeah, after I read the research.
Yeah.
You know, this is what's so interesting, right? So I read the research. I told you, I said, this is actually really interesting. So for those that don't know, this is the idea that, you know, everyone's building all these memory systems, but ultimately ripgrep, which is kind of the default tool, right? You know, markdown files, it just works, right? It really works for memory, and it's more about the harness and the structure of maintenance and structure around how files are placed and where they're placed and the rules around that, the harness basically. And this is what the research is, and already it's propagating. So you're now starting to see people like Dan Misa say that this is his method of choice, despite, you know, building ethereal graphs and all sorts of weird things, and Karpathy and these guys, right? So yeah, this is the predict ahead that this is going to become the common trend, and people are going to start building memory around it, which we already are. So that's quite interesting. So if you want to go viral, follow us, right? And so predict ahead, Claude for creative work. This is quite an interesting one. So this is the idea that it's picked up on this pattern through Claude here. So saying they released Claude, then they released Claude Code, then they released Claude Co-work, then they did Claude Design. And if you actually think about that ecosystem, what's missing? Right? And it's Claude marketing. So this is making a wild prediction that 30 days is crazy work, but I reckon it's making a prediction that there's going to be some kind of marketing led tool, right? You know who's leading in this is Meta, right? Understandably, because of Meta ads, right? They've got some very clever AI going on there.
Dude, that's going to be, I'd like to stop just for a second and talk about that one and get your opinion on this. You know, what's this going to do to a lot of small marketing SaaS companies that have appeared in the last year or two. I mean, if Claude marketing comes out and is anywhere, similar to Claude business or Claude design, even better yet.
Yeah, man. I think
Marketers, yeah.
I think it's worse for marketing SaaSes and design SaaSes. Because the thing about, you can make the best design tool in the world, and Claude Design is pretty neat, by the way. But so is Figma's solution. It's really neat too.
I haven't played with it yet.
It's
not
really
gonna
awesome.
lie. So
yeah, it's really
stuff,
awesome.
but
yeah, that's really good. I think the chief guy there is who went to Claude and then designed Claude Design. The chief Figma guy.
The chief Figma guy?
Yeah, the chief Figma guy. So the bottom line is that it's really good, but if you're an actual designer, like if you're an actual trained designer, then what you can get out of it is like 50x what anyone can get out of it, right? So you still need the design industry. Marketing is a bit different.
Yeah.
And I think like marketing follows the more general SaaS model, which is that the moat historically for SaaSes was like money, like having enough money, right? To hire the people to develop it. That moat's kind of gone with vibe coding. And so a lot of people started building competitive SaaS products, even not that great ones. But then what happens is like the labs just destroy them. It's like, look at NA10, man. Like,
I know.
It's really interesting. It's like these labs, they just inherit. This is this, right? Think of repos as just development, and you've got kind of SaaSes that get developed here. And then if they're good enough, the lab just makes them features.
Yeah.
And the SaaS is kind of dead in the water, right?
And what's so funny, man, is this is something that we talked about even having in the future streams where it's like, well, I'm sorry, but today we are going to be basically replicating like Hootsuite or replicating some third-party SaaS platform and creating the skills or the connections for it just live and showing, hey, like you don't need to spend $40 a month for this service. You don't need to spend $20 a month for that service.
Yeah.
It can all be done as skills or as other custom features that you build into your system.
Yeah, but always weigh up the time investment, guys, because there are SaaS products
absolutely
I'm very happy to pay for, because building them, it's like, don't build your own auth, right? Just
time and risk.
Just pay Clerk or like, whatever, right? Just or use Superbase auth or whatever. Like, don't build your own auth, right? Like, it's just, you're going to kill yourself. It's not going to be great, and it's not worth it. There are products, I think micro SaaS is still a thing, because little tools that do cool things. I was thinking like, even like our sentiment engine here, like that could easily be a micro SaaS, right? And I was thinking, there's so many like tools within what we've built here that could be micro SaaS products. I mean, they would need to be developed and expanded a bit, but all of these could be like, put in a theme and get the comment sentiment across platforms. Same engine, right? It's just, and then you just charge them for API costs, right? And you just put your own custom scrapers and actors and let it get to work, right? So there's lots of like opportunity. It's very interesting. But yeah, I agree, man. I agree. So this is the prediction model, and then the idea is that over time, as you generate more reports or you generate wider reports, more data the better, basically, because of this principle here, right? So more data the better, because then if you imagine this circle growing exponentially, right, then some of these little spikes might end up looking like these little tails, and so suddenly you realize these aren't even signal, it's actually something, those are just like these little like moments, and actually the real signal's out here. So more data the better. But there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can pay a lot of money, you can get a lot of storage, and you can get a lot of compute, right? Make it a truly big data effort, right? Servers and stuff. Or you can just do it over time, just keep doing cycles, keep slowly iterating, and you know, going from there. So yeah, so that's our hackathon entry. It's, you know, it's a different way of approaching it. I think it's been fun because we got to do something a little bit unique. Like, will it win? I don't know, because I think it's a bit niche. Like, you know, it's more like flexing data science a little bit and just kind of having some fun. But the idea is that anybody, if I just go to the repo, actually, hold on, readme preview, does that?
And I was thinking, since we do have 9 days left on it, and I'm going to be running it here in a few days, once we have at least a week between them, we might make some upgrades still to it. I think maybe some small.
Oh yeah. There's
touches since we got the time.
Yeah, there's definitely some refinement. This is the README. In the this is the README in the.
Sorry, I just wanted to say something that I think is so funny that I just realized. READMEs, albeit all capital letters, basically screaming at you to read me. How often do people actually read the README?
First thing I read, always.
Yes, you. I'm looking.
Why wouldn't you? It literally says "read me." It's like, this is saying this is where the juice is. Like, you need to read this.
Bro, most people though, I think, skip the READMEs.
That's outrageous.
Which is nuts, because it's yelling at you to read me. It's all capital. Like
that's your 5 minute. Like, look at a repo, read the README. Like that's all that matters. Or even often the README is the repo description, right? So you can just scroll. But GitHub does a pretty good job of that with the API. If you just throw a markdown at it. But
I think it's because it's people coming into the developer space that are not from the developer space, and so they just see like that file amongst 12 other files. Some are capital, some are.
Yeah, I mean, look at our
like demo cover, demo script, right? And people just get
So this is our package for
confused.
this product, right? We've got a scripts folder with a bunch of scripts, right? Don't mind the plays. These aren't music things. It's just,
is this your XXX file?
These are TypeScript. So this is a lot of TypeScript code here, right? I don't know how much TypeScript we've got, man. Like 18,000 lines or something. And then you know, because it's the whole pipeline is like mostly deterministic. We got some known story benchmarks. We got a whole bunch of sample docs just for template structures. We've got a whole bunch of like transcript generation JSONs across different platforms. We've got out samples, and then a lot of other stuff going on in here within the actual package JSONs. You know, and among other things, and some configs and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on there. But in the README preview itself, I kind of explain this. So the idea is, you know, what it does, this is the real detail. Like, if you're into the technical stuff, this is where you get it. This is like how we do stuff, right? We've been really transparent. And the scale, right? There's about 18,000 TypeScript lines. There's 2,300 lines of scripts for pipelines. There's 14 custom. Oh no, I don't think we include the 14 custom harvesters because they're because we don't want to break any rules. So we got a bot. Yay, bots! AI viewers, Streamboo.
Yeah, we love to teach AI bots.
Yeah, we love to teach AI bots.
Bring them by. We'll teach them how to escape the matrix.
The matrix. Yeah,
we'll teach your bots how to break out of.
Yeah, if you want to bot us for free, you can do that. Pipeline stages.
We're leading the bot revolution.
Yeah, exactly. T2 Terminator vibes. Yeah.
Glitch Cat will be at the helm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually sorry, just a great picture I just thought of Glitch Cat with like a shield and sword, like leading the helm, and it could be Lord of the Rings that it's like breaking through, or Star Wars, like.
Yeah.
I think Cat is like the main character.
Loads of like
movies.
Smith.
Yeah.
So a couple of things, like because it's for Hackathon, we made it on Mac OS, right? Mm-hmm. So it works on Linux. It works on Windows if you go through a Linux kernel, WSL or whatever. And the way you set it up is, you know, are we going to make an install package for Hackathon? No. So, you know, it's basically get bun on your system if you don't already have it. If you don't, I don't know why you don't. So, like, get it. Like, there's really no excuse. We use this free public podcast caption tool from YouTube, which is really awesome. FFmpeg is just a backup. It's we actually use Whisper from Grok. It's pretty much free. Definitely free if you're going to just use it for this report, which converts audio to text when you're like doing like TikToky stuff. So it's really cool. And then I just say there's an env in there, like a file, and you just go into that file and you put in your Anthropic API key if you're not using your auth package, right? But most people just use their subscription, so they don't have to worry about that. The reason I put Appify token is because what we've done, because we are nice people, is we've looked up a bunch of actors in Appify that you can use instead of our custom scrapers. And I've given you the information of the ones that we approve of, right? Because there's a lot of junk on there, but these are the ones that we think are, okay. And this will cover most of what you need, right? And so you can just put an Appify token in there, put in your Grok API key, put in your TikTok Appify actor, your Instagram Appify actor, your X replies Appify actor, or get your Claude to do it or whatever, right? If you just give it an Appify key, it'll do the rest. And it's default set not to actually use these until you tell it to actually do it, because it doesn't pay for anything unless you actually approve it. So the defaults are all safe. And then we explain why we've done it this way, and then how to use it. And really what that means is get the GitHub repo, download the package, and say to Claude, go to the README and set this up for me. That's it, because all the information is there. We go into all the codified functions, right? If you want to understand them, how we did cross-source corroboration, how we did class-weighted convictions, all of our formulas. Nothing is hidden. We give you the full package contents if you need it. We talk about what we could build next, which is our prediction TS, which is our machine learning algorithm, regression loops, cron scheduling. So the idea would be, my dream for this will be that when we inherit this into Glitch, which is our harness, this will be like a button, right, or a cron job that basically runs once a week. It runs for 4 hours at nighttime when you're sleeping, and then when you wake up, you just go in and your report's ready, right? That's kind of the vibes, right? And so you can just take it that if you're interested in using it that way, right? That would be the way to set it up. I think that would be like least friction. Yeah, so everything's in here. It's all in the README. The package, like I said, is will be shared at some point for the hackathon. If you're not in that hackathon, then you can always come find us, right, in our own community, and or ask us questions, and we're going to make all this stuff available, right? Everyone could just rip this stuff from us. Yeah, we're just in the process of getting that all set up. So once it's set up, we'll let people jump in. We'll probably do like, I don't know, like, should we do like a pre-sale or something, make it really cheap initially, and just give them like a really cheap entry for like life? Because we just want to get people in, talking, engaging, help you guys with all sorts of problems, and we'll take it from there. So yeah, so that's something to think about in the future.
Dang, in the near future. Pre-sale? How much are you trying to give away, man? We're talking hundreds of hours of work, and Kem's just trying to give it to everyone for free.
Yeah, is this nice sales pitch? Yeah, I think the
here, take the valuable.
Yeah, I just want to cover the costs. Like that's the intention, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're not trying to. We're practitioners, right? We do other stuff, but like the whole point is like to start like helping people really get the answers they need.
Yeah,
and you only have to look at that trending in AI stuff to realize why it's hard. Especially if you're in an echo chamber, you followed a few people, and then that's all you see, right? Their content, it's all the feed stuff, and you might not know you're on the hustler propagation end of things. So there's that. But yeah, man, that's our entry.
Ooh, you know what? Mm-hmm. You just gave me an idea of like I said, be part of the whitelist that we have of sources that it's pulling data from. But I was thinking that people could either have their Instagrams analyzed, or see examples of like what the data was in the different categories of like the hustler culture, the I forget what all 6 of them were, but like kind of see like on their social media, where does it match up? Or like, are they primarily subscribed to people that are on the hustler side, or mostly subscribed to people that are in like the GitHub repo side?
Echo chamber checker. Echo chamber checker.
Yeah, that's a good. Good name for an echo chamber checker.
That's so fun. You see, these are all the kinds of tools because we've got the data, and because we've got like a verification protocol, we can do that, right? So there's lots of things. So just while we're talking, we've got nothing else to do. I'm just going to get some work fired up, right? So
yeah, let's start.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been doing is trying to make this codex and workspace and Claude Code work. So if we have like backups, we can like run everything. So this tier of slices in the plan, tier H, is all about that, right? And so this is talking about some workspace polish, some doctrine bootstrapping. Doctrines are, you know, Claude.md, agents.md in codex, skills. This all kind of falls within the nature of doctrine, right? And race guards. 3 to 0.5 hours focused work. No, Claude. No. This is going to take you 5 minutes, and you're going to do all the work.
And you're going to do all the work.
Yeah, you're going to do all the work. I did the planning. I did the architecture. I asked the questions. I'm the orchestrator. You're doing the work. 4 things land in this one slice. Okay. Clickable provider switch pill. Okay, that's cool. We can actually show you that one. One click, other AI. So this is the idea. This is the thing we were talking about in the day chase, where like you're in a workspace, you're in Claude, but you just want to switch model and stay in the same workspace.
Yeah.
So this was the thing, right? So we knew we had to do that. We had to hook up. CC ISA skill auto install and workspace activation parity with codex behavior. Yeah, that's fine. It's a bit of a technical thing. It's about how the file structures work. Doctrine bootstrap replaces the old syncer. Yeah, so syncer is like when you create a, let's say you open up a fresh directory and you open Claude, what happens is it gives you that prompt that says, this is a folder, do you trust it? You know, and then when you get into that folder, you can use the /init command to initialize a new Claude MD and get it all set up and all that stuff, right? So this is the idea of, if you go into a folder and it's got an agent MD, does it then need to sync and create a Claude MD? And when it does sync, does it copy the contents of the agent's MD into the Claude MD and vice versa? And then what happens if you then reopen that and you've already got a Claude MD and an agent's MD, should it overwrite it? Well, no, probably not, because you probably want to keep the content you got. So this is what all the syncer is all about, right? Provide a switch race guards main process before notifying render switching in term flight. So this is the way the actual terminal screen renders. So for example, you try to open glitch, but you don't have Claude or Codex installed in the CLI. So it's like, how do you gracefully fail? So that's basically what it is. So I'm going to say, okay, cool. Let's get on with it. Hold on. Oh, that's right. I changed my command. Okay, cool. Let's crack on. Okay. So let's get it going. So we're going to start. It's going to start looking at my planning documentation. It's going to create my branch that I want to work from. So there we go, slice H3 workspace polish. That's my Git line. It's going to start recombobulating. That's helpful. It's going to audit the current code surface. It's going to refactor skill installer to install if missing. Oh, that's always scary. I hate that word, refactor. And create Claude skill installer. Okay, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that are going to go wrong here. So this is going to be fun. It should not be doing all of these in one go, and I would usually stop it, but just for content, let's let it go.
I mean, yo, I'm okay if we go slow.
I kind of record more than every time we've done this on stream, it's been so smooth that it's almost irritated me. Now look, I'm grateful when because off stream I deal with lots of issues. Because off stream I deal with issues, right? And I deal with bugs, I deal with problems, and I want to show people that this is normal, and the process of getting through it, especially when your context starts to get funky. So these reads alone have taken up like 135k context. We're nearly at 100% cache. So this is a gnarly one, right? So this could get very messy very quick. I've got auto mode on, so it's just going to crack on with the work. It's not going to ask me to accept permissions. You do that by holding Shift and Tab, if anyone's wondering. Oh, look at that. Bang, 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 bang. That's interesting. was not okay. Fair enough. That was quick. I thought it was going to take 3.5 hours, Claude. Staged the tree.
How long did you say? 5 minutes? You're going to do this in?
Yeah, it was quicker. It was quicker than 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
Let's see what we're doing here. Source that's the PTY manager, right? Now adding kill helper. Then kill helper. Okay, cool. So it's just some fallback stuff. Okay, so it's adding. If doctrine is missing, if the skill is missing, install it so that the algorithm works like ISA, but in the codex version. So it's checking that, and then it's. Yeah, so it's just doing all the stuff I described. Like, so if you don't have it, install it. If you do have it, don't install it. It's all those kind of weird edge cases. Creating a switch provider modal. So that's like, so we can switch models. That's a weird way to do that. Why is it doing that? Huh. Wow. Okay. That's such a long-winded way to do that. Yeah, we'll optimize after the fact, right? Because that is not the way I would have wanted it to be done. Okay, don't know what it just did there. Just loaded a terminal for no reason.
Kem, can you expand? How is it doing it versus how would you do it?
It's just like doing a lot of unnecessary safety checks. It's just very verbose. It's like it doesn't need to check what it's basically like in its process as a fallback. It's making this step where it basically says, let me check that this is happening before we can move on, but actually that it's inherent. Like it doesn't matter. Like even if it fails, it doesn't matter because you can check it later. Like it doesn't need to do that. So it's just adding code that's kind of will never be used. It's just kind of a strange way to do it. Just bloat, really. It's just bloat. The way you get around that is by defining coding principles.
Mm-hmm.
So this is running a smoke test. So it's basically doing a bun run dev, getting the dev server up. Let's have a look here. H3 implementation complete. All 5 quality gates green. So the programmatic checks, which included that bun run smoke, which we just saw. The build, lint, yes, lint, and type check. Okay, cool. What's now wired? Provide a pill is clickable. So there should be a little pill in the UI that I can now click. Pill disabled state guards. Okay. CC ISO auto installs. Okay. Codex skill installer refactored. That's the one that I'm nervous about because that was not something. Anyway, that was one I was very unsure about, and I went back and forth with AI on this, and I kind of trusted a little bit, because I didn't really understand it. So we're gonna have to go with that and see what happens. Race condition. Okay, ready for UAT. UAT. Case by case, please. List the case, and I'll run the test and give you the feedback.
Now, Kem, for those who don't know, what is a race condition or a race guard? What is that referring to?
Yeah, so let me just open up the server. Hold on 1 second.
And this is something that you taught me not too terribly long ago, but it was an interesting concept that I hadn't heard of before. And
yeah, so just a second. Let me just get this going and I'll answer that because it's a good question. Okay, and then let's see this UAT. While dev boots, it's saying glitch should be opening now. Well, I need to open the dev server. Yeah, I'm just setting up. App opens on the test project workspace. The terminal pane. Okay, let me at least get that going. Right. What was your condition? You asking race conditions? Was it? Yeah, a race condition is like a bug where the outcome of the code depends on the sequence, like the timing and the ordering of operations. So like when something has to happen first for something else to happen, and when things can trigger with ahead of something else that's meant to happen, that becomes a race condition. Like it's two processes racing to basically, but they need to be codified as one then the other to solve that race condition. So like you might have two threads running, and one is like read counter 0, add 1, write 1, and then the other thread also wants to do the same. And then the final is you expect 2, but then if the check happens for the final and it's only 1, it thinks it's wrong, so then it goes down this wrong route, but that's just because the other one hadn't had a time to read yet and write yet, and all this kind of stuff. So both threads reading before either wrote would be a race condition, so one increment is lost. That would be a bug. There's lots of common shapes around read, modify, and write. That's really common for race conditions. Locking is a good way to solve it. Having what's called compare and swap atomic operations is a really good way to solve it. You can do single writer designs like queues, or you can use immutable data, or there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's a whole world. But the principle here is that you just want to kind of consider whenever there's a potential for a race condition to make sure that you're addressing it up front, because it's inevitably going to be an issue, and it might not be an issue straight away, but it will eventually be an issue. Was that helpful or not really?
Yeah, it definitely helped.
Okay, cool. So it says the terminal pane should spawn Claude Code. Yes, it did spawn Claude Code. Type a trivial prompt. Okay, what's a trivial prompt? Hello world. Hello world. And press enter. Watch the right rail. Oh, I should probably launch that. Watch the right rail. Card should stream. Yeah, they do, as expected, and the algorithm would have fired. Yeah, okay, good. Click the algorithm tab, should render with no errors. Minimal text prompt. Status bar should be CC version, yeah, Claude Code version 2.1.33. Model Opus 4.7, that's the glitch version. It's on X High Thinking. That's the folder. We're in the test project, right? That's the GitHub. We're not connected to any Git repository. That's the session duration. That's our thing. And oh, look, we've got a little pill down here. This is one of the developments. Okay, good. So this is just a regression test, basically. It's just checking we didn't break anything. Oh, and it's checking that there's a pill, the CC provider pill. Okay, so I launched it. Everything looks fine. I ran hello world as a prompt. I saw the rails pop up, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 7, then 16. I can see in the status bar that I have the Claude Code version 2.1.133. And I now have this little pill, CC, next to architecture and our local time popping up. Is that the only thing I needed to check? Okay. And it says app launches without any errors, terminal spawned successfully, right rail populates cards, algorithm tab renders, status bar pill, read CC, yeah. Pass. Once that's confirmed, UAT1 CC skill parity matrix scenario file goal, confirm that adding a fresh empty folder as a CC workspace has skill appear in the folder. So in PowerShell terminal, not inside glitch, create a fresh test folder. Okay, oh, look at that. It's even giving me the nice quick prompt. That's nice. Save me a bit of time. Okay, you know what we can do though? We can, for this, just do, yeah, no, stuff it. Okay, we'll just do it from here. It doesn't make a difference. If you get worried about it, all it's telling me to do here is this is just a terminal prompt. I don't know why it's saying to do it in terminal. I could literally just right click. I could literally just do this. New folder, right? No different, right? It's exactly what it's telling me to do. It's saying, put a path on desktop, and it's telling me what to do for it, and force, right? So let's do that. I'll do what it says because maybe I'm missing something. Okay, fine, done that. In Glitch's workspace, drop down top bar and click open folder, and then go to the folder we created. Okay, tick here, let's just open this up. Open folder, it's going to be on my desktop. Oh, where is it? Why can't I see it? That's interesting. Huh. Well, what is the file path that you wanted me to use? Sorry, I'll just show you. That's weird. OneDrive desktop H3. Huh. Try refresh. Well, that is strange. Let's try.
What was the name that you gave the file?
It might be on the cloud.
What was the name?
The file is. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Sorry. It's going to be inside Glitch MVP. Okay, let's. I'm so stupid. Yeah, it's going to be. That's what Glitch. Open folder, desktop. It's going to be Glitch MVP. It's going to be. Let me read the full file path. I'm being lazy. I thought it would have been. Oh, it's using OneDrive OEM user. OneDrive. This is such a weird one. It really should be there. Did I not create? Hold on. Let me find the terminal that I ran. I'm just going to check I am in the terminal whether or not I. Okay. It's on legacy desktop. So down here, C drive. Is it OneDrive? Where is it? Yeah, but I don't have a. This is the funniest one I've come across in a while. I mean, I can just create a folder, but I'm like in too deep.
Cut your losses. Cut your losses.
No, I want to know why this is happening. It's telling me it's somewhere that it's not. I'm asking it to actually check.
It's kind of eerie if you ask me. Dude, your folder got abducted. It's gone.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna try taking the actual file path. It does exist. It really does exist. Why can't I see it? That's so weird. Okay, it does exist. Apparently it exists. So I don't know. It's literally on my desktop. Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, what if you try and go into PowerShell and move it?
Hold on. Why is it documents?
Mm.
Hold on. I think we might have worked this out. Documents. This is so strange. This is a bug. I need to work out. Hold on. This is a bug. Let me think about this. Okay. I've got one method I'm going to try. Hold on with AI. This is the folder. Can you see? It's literally C drive users OEM. C drive users OEM desktop. Okay. Cool. Great. So we've worked it out. So that's where it is. So open folder, C drive. So it is legacy desktop. Users. God, Windows. This is what happens when you don't use Windows enough. OEM user. And we want desktop. Desktop. And there it is. Okay, cool. There we go. Now it's in the right directory. Okay, crisis averted. What would you like me to do? Open a Claude Code or a Codex workspace? Wow, the simplest thing has kept me back. Okay, Claude Code, open workspace. Yes, switch, go. Okay, good. Yes, I trust this folder. Okay, good. All right. Okay, I've done that. Can you check for me if the skills ISA was created? Don't make me root to it again, please. Yes, we passed. Fine. Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. Next. UAT CC skill respects existing major scenario. Confirm that the workspace has ISA skill with user content and glitch does not overwrite it. Okay, fine. Follow CD with dummy to invite. Dummy use skill should not be overridden. Glitch bundle skill. Yeah. Steps in glitch workspace. Drop down open folder. Okay. And it says paste this into the dialog bar. Okay. Okay. Select folder, CC, open workspace, yes, switch. Okay, done. Do you want to run the test? Just check for me so I don't have to do it manually. Oh, sorry, I should do you want me to pull this over?
Yeah, that definitely helps. And what if it came back and said, no, I don't want to run the test for you?
Then I do my yeah, pass. So all it's doing is checking that if the file that when it was present, that it didn't overwrite it and all this stuff, right? U83, provider switch, okay, should be easy. So look at the bottom right of the status bar, you should see a CC pill. There it is, right there. Between the time zone clock, hover it at first. You should say active provider, yeah, fine. A modal opens titled switch provider. Okay, we'll test that in a second. Click yes to switch to codex. Watch what happens. Okay, click switch provider. Yes, switch to codex. And we broke it. Okay, good. Fantastic. I saw the modal pop up, switch to codex. I clicked switch to codex. I was in the same directory, the still existing one. And I saw the C command to close the terminal session, but it just lingered there. I'll paste the terminal. Okay. So this is a bug. This is a fail. Yeah, I'm on the same one because you said. It's saying you're in the wrong place, but the test is the same. So the Doctrine Bootstrap will still hit the complete. Yeah, okay, fine. Let me verify pre-switch state. Okay, I see. So it hasn't done the part yet. Okay, the picture is clearer now. You must have already done a CC to codex switch on this workspace at some point. No, I didn't. You see how it's trying to gaslight me? No, I just... it's like sorry, I didn't realize I was recording my voice.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend. Jeez.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I didn't. This is a directory that I only created very recently. In fact, I think you might have even created it. So we were only doing the CC test. This is completely new, so that's not the reason. So let's work it out, please. Okay. This is one of those moments where you see when you're dealing with stuff that you don't understand, you just have to, this is the part that I hate. Yes, it was a CC, but that's the whole point. We were converting from a CC to codex. You dumbass. Right. Found it. Here we go. The registry tells a different story than the terminal you pasted. Interesting. Combined with the file stamps. Yes. So the activation ran twice. Two possibilities for what triggered the second activation. When you added skill existing, so this one. Yeah, okay, yeah. Skill existing. Hold on. Yeah, you click the CC pill, yeah, switch to codex, activation wrote. Wait, what? No. No. Nope, you have misunderstood. We ran the last two tests. I went to the directory as per you advise. Let me share it. Here. The directory that we start this prompt with. And then it asked me if I wanted to create a CC session. I said yes. Then I tried to do the switch, and then I got an error, and it didn't work. It was just trying to exit the terminal. It's just a terminal exit, which was simply visible, but the Claude TUI was still active. So it was like it was trying to exit the terminal. Oh. Okay, so the modals. ATCC skill, yeah. I'm still in that directory, nothing's changed, so continue. Let's try that. Hold on, let's try something. Oh, I can't, it's just like, I can't even type in here. Yeah, interesting, I should tell it that. Hold on. I can see in the rendered terminal Claude Code TUI, but I can't actually do anything with it. I can't access it. It's almost like it's just frozen there, and actually it's in an exit state, but I haven't had the relaunch prompt come up like I would usually when exiting. I know what I want to try, but I want to wait and see what it says first. I want to try going directly from here. Is this familiar, Chase? Have you ever gone through something like this? Found the bug. Let me check where terminal view is mounted. Let's see if it has found the bug. Confirmed bug here. Center pane button. Now that sounds, yes, exactly. Bingo. Confirm bug. Center TS passes workspace ID to terminal view. When you click the provider pill, neither CWD nor its changes, only provided ID does. So there we go. There we go. That's right. Now it's going to type check and lint to make sure it's all correct and then allow me to relaunch. Finally, we worked it out. So what happened? There we go. Update now, runs bun install. No, skip that for now. Do you trust the contents of this directory? Yes, continue. This is codex. Okay, good. Yes, that worked. And now we're in the same directory, but it is in fact launched as codex. So I think that was indeed the bug. It basically was switching to codex, but the terminal wasn't being told to update. So it just lagged out and froze. I thought I was still in the terminal, but it showed the exit of the terminal, but it didn't re-render. That's all it was. Good, but that's just the relaunch boot showing codex per registry. The bug fix needs to be confirmed clicking the codex pill now to switch to CC inside. Yes, fine, valid. So let's do that. Codex, click the pill. Oh, yes, switch to CC. Switching. And Claude Code. C, switching, switch to codex. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yes, perfect. I clicked the pill, switched back from codex to CC, and it was fine, launched in the TUI. did the same, switched back to Codex again, and I'm back at Codex. Although, just worth noting, it is giving me the do I want to skip update. Yeah, that's fine. Never mind. I thought it was asking me if I wanted to set up the folder again, but it didn't. It was just asking me if I wanted to update Codex, which is fine, normal behavior. Oh, look, we did another test by mistake. That's good. Clean all 4 artifacts preserved across the round trip. Okay, 5. Other providers files exist. Precondition fixture. That exists only has a Claude MD. Fine. Steps in glitch workspace. Drop down, open folder, paste. Pick Codex this time, not CC. Okay. Open folder. Pick here. Click Codex. Open workspace. Yes, switch. Fine. Do the skip because we're not going to do the update now. Yes, continue. Okay, tell me that. Okay, yeah. Done. Verify. It's going to check that it updated the agents MD for this new folder. Pass. Amazing. UAT5B, both missing branch, precondition. Okay. Glitch workspace, drop down the folder. Check this sub test folder. Okay, good. Open folder. Put that one in. Enter. Select folder. Oh, which does it want me to open? Probably Claude. Select folder. Workspace activates as Codex. It's not activating as Codex. It's prompting me if I want to open it as Codex. Is that right? And should I then select Codex? Yeah, exactly right. Okay, fine. Model picker, Codex, open workspace. Yes, switch. Yes, skip. Good. Okay. Yes, continue. Good. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. This is actually one of the parts that are tricky with the architecture, so this is important. Done. Verify. Just responding to a message. Sorry. UAT5C target file already exists. Branch. Okay, we passed. Good. We're bombing through these now. Thank God. This is the most boring stuff. I told you it was boring, but we have to get it done. Get your research down. Exists. Provider. We're going to pick Codex. Okay, let's do it. So what we're doing. Do you understand what we're doing, Chase? So what we're doing is there's a bunch of pre-made folders, and they all have different conditions. So like some of them have an agents MD already, some don't have an agents MD, some of the folders have a Claude MD but not an agents MD, and vice versa. And it's trying to check that it doesn't overwrite things when it shouldn't, rewrite things when it shouldn't, it should populate when sometimes if it doesn't have any, and so on and so forth. So it's checking all of these different combinations. Can you just check that now, please?
Beautiful, dude.
So we're making sure that it's effortless for the user, so no one has to think about it, right? It's like it just automatically does. If you've got a Claude MD, it just copies whatever it was to agents, so it feels seamless when you're working in Codex. If you have none, it gives you the default to make sure your algorithm can pick up the doctrine. If you have one or the other that's not the one we've provided, it doesn't overwrite it. You know that it leaves it as you set it up, and so on. Okay, the fixture wasn't activated. Let's retry. So glitch top bar. Okay, fine. Let's make sure we do exactly this. Okay, fair enough. Press enter. Then it will give me a select folder button. Provide, press enter, select folder. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to open folder. Do that. Select folder. I think I did the wrong folder. I think I went into it. That's why. Codex. I think this will be fine. open workspace. Yes, switch. Yeah. So yeah, I inputted that. I did get the modal. I did select yes, switch. I did select codex. It doesn't seem like the terminal updated or changed, but it does seem to be that I'm there. So do you want to just check again? I think this is the one that is already an agent's MD, so I think it's fine. I think my mistake was I went into the folder, but we're about to find out. So I think this will be fine. Let's see. If not, we've got a bug. Okay, so no activity at all. The ad silently failed somewhere, same pattern as that earlier, likely erase in the provider picker submit. Okay, quick diagnostic, open glitch workspace, drop down and tell me, does the exist appear in the workspace list? Okay. No. Other exists? No. I don't think so. What I see is test project, UAT5B both missing. I see UAT5A other exists. I see UAT1 CC skill. I see stream test temp XXX, which probably folders that I created another time. I see codex test glitch MVP, and I see glitch MVP only in the recents, and then open folder, of course. Okay, good. Silently failed. We tried it carefully this time. In the OS dialog, paste this into the address bar at the top. Yeah. Select folder. Okay, I'm going to record while I'm doing this. Okay, I'm recording while I'm doing this. I literally am clicking open folder. I'm going to the address bar. I'm pasting. I can see it. See users OEM desktop H3 UAT5C dash target exists. I'm hitting enter. I'm now in that space. There's nothing in that directory. I'm going to click select folder, and I can see the folder is listed in the folder space at the bottom. It's now giving me a prompt to pick model. I'm picking codex and clicking open workspace. It says, yes, would you like to switch? Yes. Ah, this time it actually did it. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yes, continue. This time I think it worked. I'm not sure if it was a user error, like I forgot to hit enter or something like that. But if it is fixed, can we log this as something to monitor as a potential bug that we might need to come back to? I think that fixed it, but I'm not sure if it was my error when I was doing it or whether it wasn't. So you need to track these things, because if it comes up, I want in the context for it to know. And it was a pass. Okay, interesting. I think it was probably user error. I was just rushing, but you know, because it never created the folder, right? So somewhere I was going wrong. Maybe I wasn't hitting enter. I did it a lot slower that time. I don't know. Maybe I was just rushing. Okay. Provider switch erase guards. Okay. 2 substicks, right? Steps in the terminal pane. Type a prompt that will take a few seconds to respond. Something like list the first 20 prime numbers. Press enter. The prompt is in flight. Immediately look at the status bar provider pill. It should be grayed out, I bet. Hover the pill. Read finish current turn to switch. Okay, click the pill. Nothing should happen. Wait for the response to fully arrive. Hover the pill again. Okay, so this is saying, checking that we can't change model and break stuff while it's in flight. Okay, so list the 10 prime numbers. Let me keep my mouse down here, you see on codex. Let me hit enter. I can't click it, you see. And then it comes up. Okay. It was indeed grayed out with a no action icon, no entry kind of looking thing. I forget what it's called. And I couldn't do it. And then once the prompt responded, I was then able to do it again. But I didn't shift, so I'm still in codex. Passed. Okay, rapid double click. Goal, confirm the clicking the pill twice in quick succession only fires once. Okay, hover the provider pill, double click the pill. exactly one modal opens, the pill should look disabled immediately when you confirm the counts of the modal. Okay. So click, 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 click. Okay. When double clicking, the modal appears on the first click and then it disappears on the second click, which is fine, but I don't know if that's what you're expecting. Do you see how intense UAT can get sometimes, Chase? And this is the thing that a lot of Vibe coders don't realize, that this stuff is actually so much more important than you think. Like checking all this little nuance. We've actually passed. We've actually officially passed. Okay, good. Bug found, v1 log. Okay. So in this slice, bug found, which we fixed, which was the terminal issue. V1 backlog logged. Yeah, we've logged that there was this failure that we're not sure about. We think it was user error, but maybe not. Okay, fine. Yeah. So, yep, crack on with the sweep. Update all administration, follow our walkthrough and process towards a merge and clear context. Good. Right, Chase, I'm back. I'm back in the room. I am back in the room, brother. I can't hear you on mute.
From the depths of it all.
Dude, I said we need some.
That was beautiful.
I mean, talk about grade A idiot moment. Couldn't find a folder, was on the old desktop. I was trying to search on my modern desktop. It was in OEM. I didn't know that within OEM there was another subfolder that was desktop, and oh my God, what drama. Then we had a genuine bug, a real bug, and then we had maybe a bug, but we repeat it, right? We're not sure. I think it was user error. I think I was rushing because I got into the rhythm. I did try it a couple of times. So what we did with that one is it's important that you capture it, right? So that if it comes up again and I bring it up, it remembers, you can look back in context. And now we're following my auto process. Now this is cool because you've not seen it since I've updated it. So it's updating all of our planned stuff.
Yeah.
That was actually a really boring to watch, but really powerful implementation that had a whole bunch of edge cases, right? That now gives us the ability to truly switch between Codex and Claude. And one of the next things we're probably going to be doing is allowing Claude to contact Codex, classic MCP vibes, where it can reach you, send off for a Codex agent while it's working in Claude. So both models are running at the same time in the same session. And then we're going to look at like giving multiple panes, or so this is this is where we're going. We're basically trying to make it really flexible. And the stuff that you don't know is this: when you have if you work in both Codex and Claude, they operate differently, right? Claude uses a Claude MD, they use an agent's MD. Glitch expects both, right, to work with its algorithm. So we had to make sure that, like, what happens if I'm working in a directory and I've already got agents and Claude? What if the user's already got both, right? Do we override it? Do we not? What if it has one or the other? Do we copy the other? Or do we just let them have no file, and then Glitch doesn't show certain things in the algorithm trace and they think something's broken? Or, there's so many different back to front. If we do, we don't have, we start, we don't, we use both. All these combinations, right? And there's about 12 of them. And they all have very unique architectural decisions. And if you don't get it right now, down the road, this is game over. So it's so important to get it right. And obviously this is new to us because we're also having to do this without -p. Remember? So we're having to use this other quite, not complicated, but very restrained way of doing it. So it can only do it one certain way, right? And so getting this right is really important.
We have to play within the restrictions.
Yeah. We have to make sure that we don't, because it's so, if we have -p, this is the easiest thing ever. This is like, you just go click and it's done, right? So what it's doing now is I think it's a smoke test. Let me see. Why did it just launch it? Let's have a look. Just up, they shouldn't have launched it. That's weird. Oh no, it's a smoke test. Okay, fine. Running pre-commit quality gates, which includes a smoke test. So that's why it popped up and popped down.
Dude, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that once we have the basis done, right, and it's on GitHub. It's shared with our community. People can download it, right? Which we're getting really close to.
Very.
But once we have that on these streams, if we wanted to, we could jump on at one point, and then maybe in the beginning, since it's later for you take over and maybe like build out a skill for however long, 1 to 3 hours, like, however much time it takes. Get in the flow of something, like something cool. Yeah, and then a little bit of crossover, but after that, we have a transition period where then I take over and build something else cool for the next 2-3 hours.
We can definitely do that. But
you know what? Streams end up being like 8 hours long.
That's a good idea. But you know what else we can do? We can both be working on separate GitHub issues, like features at the same time. And just as you make progress, you say, let me show you where I am. It'll be streamed to you while I'm quietly working on something. And then I get the feature up and running. I say, hey, switch back over to me, switch back over to me. So we can do a lot of that stuff too, right?
We can. I was thinking,
while I'm reviewing your PR, you're working on a feature, right? Then I approve the PR, it goes live, and back and forth,
Yeah, we can definitely do both.
Just want to confirm, did the like C4 architecture trigger on the GitHub actions on the quality gates?
Because we should also be taking advantage of the fact that we're on different time frames by like 7 hours. So realistically, if we both do like a half-day stream, excuse me, we can connect that into like a full 8 to 10 hour stream, which on Restream, we get 10 hours consecutive.
Yeah, amazing. That's a good idea. Okay, guys, just to close up, right? So for this slice, right? So it ran the type check, it ran the lint, it ran the build, it verified the architecture, which is the like C4. So C4 architecture gate did fire. 76 file refs and like C4 validate, tag, whitelist, all green Linux 2. So everything was updated in like C4 at the same time, right? So in that case, if all of our administration files, etc., are updated, let's merge. So let's merge the branch to the main. And we're looking down here to see it. There it is. So now we're back on main, all clean. And now it should tell me what's next, but maybe not because we changed the system a little bit. And it does that, right? So you're ready to clear your context, and resume glitch build is the command I'll use to get into the next phase. And it says, in layman terms, the next slice, if we wanted to continue, would be when both Claude Code and Codex are installed, glitch auto wires Claude to be able to invoke Codex as an MCP tool. So that's super easy. We could even do it now, but it's up to you, dude. You're on mute.
Dude, whatever you're feeling, man.
If you want to continue, we can try and do this one too.
Yeah, man. If you want to knock that one out, I'm going to have to take this little one out here because she's a...
do you need to go right now?
Oh, very shortly, yeah.
Should we see how long it takes?
Yeah, let's see how long it's going to take.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. I think it's going to be really simple. And it's a simple test. Okay, cool. Hopefully we'll just bang through this one. It just needs to set up the MCP and the EMV at root. It wouldn't have been able to do it before, but now that we've run the other phase, it will. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on. Okay. This is the probe. So this is the probe just to check that our assumptions are right. That's another technique, actually, that I use that you might not be familiar with, is when there's assumptions based on documentation, before you actually do the implementation that you've planned for, like plan mode or whatever, you can ask it to probe so that it basically runs the programmatic checks first to confirm its assumptions. And like in this case, it tried it, but it realized that to update this MCP at root, that would be affecting my current Claude session. And so it's basically saying it was actually denied. The bash command was denied because I'm in auto mode and haven't accepted the permission. So it denied it. And it's saying, I'm going to note that in the PR and so on, and then proceed. So let me read the existing files I need to integrate with. I have enough context, opening the branch. There we go. So it's done the probe. It knows now that it's okay, knows what to do. It's going to open the branch and crack on. So that's it, right? Create SRC main install MCP enabler TS with 3 functions. Wire the MCP enabler into SRC main index TS startup. Run all 5 quality gates. Done, right? And there it is. That's the MCP enabler. Now wiring. This is a backward way of installing an MCP, but it's doing it. We can fix that at the end. I'll make a note at the end. It's just doing it because it works, but it's doing it as a counter response to the fact that its permission was unavailable. Okay, nearly done. Yeah. Claude. Okay. No. Yeah. And okay. Okay. Running the build check, smoke test now. That's the smoke test pass. All 5 quality gates green, marking that complete. R9 sweep, context is healthy. This is more like a piv loop, where we plan, implement, and verify. Now also fix the pattern B reference, symmetric installer per H3, as per the plan of section H3. Ships Claude Codex direction via CLI shell, fine. That's the MCP route. Now slice journal entry to update where we are and that we've implemented, and we're going to be moving into UAT. I don't even think there's going to be a UAT for this because it's so non-destructive. We'll see. Just updating planning, portability entry. So this is checking, it's updating that if we go to Mac or if we go to Tori, what it needs to know about this particular change. This is based on the change from the probe, so it's updated. Plan status, that's plan status. Now updating the current section for H3.1 state, fine. Okay. Just updating plans. 188K context, healthy, 190. Just administration. So it's done, 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 done. on this at the moment. Doing a sweep of our documents. Now it's updating the progress HTML. It's checking the V1 backlog. Good. F4 is already documented. Let me also verify anything else is architecture description. Okay, fine. Which is like C4. All gates reconfirmed green after R9 sweep. All gates reconfirmed. Implementation pending UAT. Pre-implementation probe was denied in the session by safety. Also have had a user scope MCP set to include preview. Space guard MCP set before we add. Was built in unconditionally, which makes the probe outcome moot. Defense receiver was already functional. That's an exploit. That's an exploit. Interesting. It's basically saying we couldn't access it because of safety permissions, which is the idempotency guard. But MCP server exists before each add, was built in unconditionally, which makes the probe outcome moot. Defensive idempotency was already a function of the 3 required. Okay, so what about UAT? Okay. It just wants to push all the documentation because the update to the change. Basically saying it should work as is. Just gonna move this to main. Okay. Now let's start UAT regression per the glitch UAT protocol. Start glitch upon run dev. So I need to open here. Run dev. I should launch syncs. There we go. Dev not package or launch the build app. Confirm the test project workspace loads. Fire mineral prompt. So I'm in Codex. It's launched. Do you want me to prompt inside Codex? I think it does because it wants me to quickly say hello. So let's do that. Hello. It's all working. Just clear that. Yeah, so just said hello, everything's working as intended. Now you want me to use the pill to switch back to CC, is that right? Yes, click Codex pill. Codex pill, yes, switch to CC, switching. Yes, I trust this folder. Done, I accepted yes, I trust this folder because in the directory we're in, we hadn't had a Codex session, which is target exists. So I'm now there. Regression closed. Yep, MCP entry created. Virtual terminal not glitch mid one. We want to query Claude's user scope. Okay. Run Claude MCP list. That should work straight in terminal. Scally draw. MPX NA10, Superbase, Google APIs. Huh. Interesting. Don't think that's what you want to see. I don't see glitch MCP codex. Oh, do I have to go to the directory? Actually, you can check this. I was doing it in the glitch MVP directory. I'm guessing it doesn't matter. I did run bun run dev. Yes, I do have a process log. Let me show you. Bug found via log. The real failure is on Claude's side. Failed exits. Invalid name code. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. It's just a syntax. Data planning docs in parallel. Now rerun the gates. Okay. So we need to exit and run dev again. Just wait for the build to complete. $236K, not the worst. Now add an in-slice bug fix. Yeah, that's right. Capture the fact that we had to fix the syntax. Was it a colon? Here. There. Doesn't take the colon. So you can see it's updating all of the colons in the syntax. Okay. Thinks that's going to solve it. So it's going to check the build. ESLint. Fixed, pushed, igniter, restart TSD, quick glitch, bun run dev, relaunch. Okay. Control C, bun run dev. Good. And then Claude MCP list. Needs auth, needs auth, needs auth, MCP, NA10. Glitch MCP codex. Failed to connect, but it's there. Okay, that's good. That's good. Glitch MCP codex.
Failed to connect, yeah. When it tries to ping the codex, the entry shows the right path to the space data, so quoting looks okay. Most likely the codex is used as some command that doesn't exist. Do you think I just need to try and connect it via /MCP in Claude terminal? Yeah, let's give it a go. Reconnect. Failed. Okay, that doesn't work. Yeah, that didn't work. Oh. Yeah, we probably want to go. Codex help. Okay, let's do that. Why not? And then it's going to be from here. Okay. It's a bit hacky, that's why. That's fair. Didn't I just paste the codex one though? Or is that different? Oh, it's the server you want, right? Claude MCP help and Claude server. And also Claude MCP help. And then we want to take all of that and all of that. Found it wrong, Claude MCP get glitch MCP. Boom. Failed to connect. I think we're going to have to not try and bypass this permission. Probably have to dump this, slice, and redo. This is the same on 39 of HMC1. Interesting. Interesting. So it's remembering from the lessons learned. Let's see if that works. Retest, okay. This, if it is what he says it is, then that's really interesting. That's going to be
This agent SDK thing is such a pain. Looks like we got a runtime. It looks like we got a runtime landmine. The good news is it's one that I've come across before in C1 of this build, but that's if assuming it's fixed. But if it is, then this is a great example of why you monitor lessons learned. Okay, let's commit and then we'll retest. Okay, fix pushed. Clear the broken entry, Claude. Okay. Clear the broken entry. Okay. Cleared the broken entry. Now restart glitch. So we'll do that from server side. And relaunch to re-pull the latest version. Okay, good. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Registered. Haha. I think it was the same issue. Holy moly. I think that's good news. Registered, yeah. Line confirms spawn went clean. Now verify still coming Claude. Yeah. So that's going to have to be in a fresh terminal line. Connected. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. It was the same landmine. It's a runtime landmine. It's a Windows-centric thing. This won't be an issue on Mac. Yeah, path intact. UAT existing MCP, which is MCP path 6. UAT3 MCP discovers inside the Claude Code session. Glitch MCP codex connected. Shows glitch MCP connected in the Claude terminal that I'm looking at. How can we test the actual feature can route to codex though? We're currently in the target exists directory, and I'm looking at the /MCP, and I can see glitch MCP codex connected to tools. Tools. Glitch MCP codex. Yes. Calling glitch MCP codex. Okay. Let me show this. This worked. I think this worked. I'm just going to share the terminal view. Then verify in PowerShell. You ready? We want hello world. Hello world. Yeah, good. Need the actual evidence. Okay, here it is, bud. There you go.
Passed. UAT5. Relaunch and clean up codex estimates to about quit your bun run dev and relaunch. Watch the boot log for one of these. Then in PowerShell. Okay. Bun run dev. Okay. Then in bun run dev, then PowerShell. Yeah, this is good. This is working. Right, the rename, relaunch, clean, restore, relaunch, re-register sequence. Oh God. Run UAT 5B now. Okay, walk me through this because this sounds long and complicated. If programmatic, let's do it programmatically. Relaunch, clean up, restore, relaunch, re-register. These edge cases. Fair, let me do the parts I can. I can rename coders and split the work recommended. Yeah. Let's do A. I'm not going to uninstall Codex now and redo it manually. Let's hope this doesn't crash the computer. CMD disabled, good. Codex not recognized, good. Okay. The shell production users can't find Codex now, good. We'll return null on glitches next boot, which triggers your turn. Quit bun, run dev, and relaunch. And there it is. Watch the main log. No need to watch. Here's the print. Paste the boot log. Yeah. Restoring Codex. Fantastic. Last relaunch. Quit bun, run dev. Relaunch one more time. I told you this stuff was boring, dude. But this is how you get solid foundations. This is how you do it, brother. You got to be meticulous with this stuff, all these edge cases. Yep, all 7 UAT checks passed. Amazing, we're over the pain. We can now access Codex and Claude from anywhere. We can invoke Codex during the Claude session, and we don't use Agent SDK. We don't use anything. We just run it through the standard MCP with all the edge cases covered for the algorithm, which is what the nuance was. Dude, absolute pain. Oh, I'm so glad we've got over that nonsense. All of this because of this announcement that was made just the other day. None of this would have had to happen for the MCP if it wasn't for the MVP. If it wasn't for that.
Better sooner than later. You know?
Now we've got the fallback though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now we're model agnostic.
And we're more like aware to it, we're like, cha-cha, like we understand they're going to be taking this stuff away from us. So we got to.
Yeah, but also interestingly, the big bug that showed up was a landmine that basically is a runtime landmine that I'd come across earlier when we were developing. And in a nutshell, it's a race condition, but in a nutshell, funnily enough, it's a race condition, and we weren't even testing for the race guards. But funnily enough, it's something that's only on Windows. It's not an issue on Mac. But the fact that we'd come up across it last time meant that it was really easy to fix because it was in the lessons learned log. But last time when I first came across it, it was like a day's work of going back and forth. I had to exit out. I had to redo things. It was like pulling hair out. So just shows the importance of logging all these issues and why UAT is so careful. And when you build horizontally, can you imagine I just built all this as an assumption and I had like 30 things, you get like 40 test cases and you're like, I can't be bothered. Like it feels like it's working, and you just ignore these things and they sit there, these landmines. You build features, and before you know it, you've just got a mess, right?
Yeah, things start breaking. And that's the problem is when it starts breaking, people oftentimes don't step back and try and simplify things. It's often like, hey, fix that, fix this. And then
you got to break it down. And you got to bring like your focus game when it's breaking. Like that's when you need to really like lock in and actually read what it's saying and actually try and understand it. And if you don't, which is, look, if you're not technical, I get it. Like it can be really confusing, but you can ask it to explain. You can say, help me, ask me to, I don't understand. I'm still not getting it. Is it this? Have I understood? I'm just trying to get alignment. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You can say to it, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just asking, can you help me to understand? And when you ask it to explain things in layman, which is a good prompt, but also tell it that you don't want it that you don't want some silly childish explanation, right? You want the real explanation, just a tier down, right? Just enough for me to understand, right? Otherwise it starts to say, think of the time when you're, it will say like, let me try and explain this race condition. Imagine you're both setting up for the 100-meter hurdles and you're like, no, that's not the level I want, right? I just want it a bit easier to understand. So you need to manage that. Right, next slice. Okay, good. All merged. Good. Have we definitely captured the fact that C1 landmine popped up again? We're at 318K context, and I got to give credit to Claude. It's coping. Captured in 4 places. Lessons. Same landmine that bit C1's hook spawn, but R30 was framed. Gap, anti-slop. The project's enforcement auto-loaded the stack landmine, but doesn't reference R3078. That's fair, so it just needs to update that again to also include R78. Because now it's the second time it's come up. R30 was what it had, anti-slop, and R78. So, I feel like this might be a portability point as well. Is portability updated? In fact, can you just check all walkthrough that relevant content is there, considering we are into 327K context and I'm concerned about attention sinks. So for those that don't understand, after about 180K, 200K context, you start getting context rot. And what that means is the attention of the context window, which is now really large, and it's sending it back and forward. It's hard for Claude to remember what was going on earlier in the session. And around the middle of the session where all this drama happened, that's now where it has the least attention. So you have to be very explicit, and things that it does naturally, you have to actually say to it, can you check? Right, so I'm asking it to do a full walkthrough again of all the documentation, and hopefully it did a good job and it doesn't need to update anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if it suddenly says now, oh yeah, actually, because this last update wasn't a big deal. It didn't have to do that. That was like extra. All it was saying is it's got a document that said we've had these landmines, and it's saying, oh, I didn't add to say that same landmine popped up again, but that's not what that document's for. It's just to say, be aware of that landmine. So that's not a big issue, but I want to see if, say, the Windows port to Mac log that we're keeping, that we know that this is in the code and the current code, and it has to address it differently when it goes to Mac. So it should have it because of C1. So it might not be an issue because it already had it. But this could be slightly different because I'm not sure exactly the technical. I know there were some syntax changes, but those were unrelated. So now I'm just asking it to check, right? So look, good call, spawning an explore agent to do the audit so I don't burn more main context because I'd mentioned to it that I was concerned about context rot. It doesn't need to do that, but I'm going to just say, don't bother with the agent. Don't bother with the agent. I'm just concerned about your attention sink, not pure rot and degradation. So can you just do the check yourself, please? I don't want a sub agent because then I'm reliant on the prompt and I don't know what the prompt was that he's asked to do. So he's doing it himself because I'm not concerned that Claude is degrading right now because its performance is high. It's doing really well. It's dealing with the problem. And look, it found something. Portability, exactly where I thought. Fair, doing it myself. Portability done, now progress HTML. So you see exactly as I thought, right? It just missed it in portability. So this is a lesson. This is about understanding AI foundations and understanding what attention sinks actually are and when they occur and knowing when you need to be extra vigilant because this is the easy moments you slip up and this compounds over the course of a project. So I think that was a really interesting use case actually. That was attention sinks in real time, not degradation, not context rot, but attention sinks specifically. If people want to understand that more, we can talk about that another session. Okay, good. Right, all files are done. Now we're going to need to merge. And then we're done. Then we're officially done for today. And then I can clean up all the other little nuances during the day off stream. And then we're back to good stuff. Okay, okay, good. Fantastic. Thank you, Claude. I'm done for tonight, baby. You've done well. I'm very impressed. Give yourself a pat on the back and eat a cookie. All right.
Eat a cookie, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Some extra tokens that Claude
gets
to use.
Gets to have his cookie.
Gets to have a cookie.
Look, there you go. Can you see? Boom, right there. Thanks, Kem. That means a lot. Solid session. Blah, 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 blah. Sleep well. And there's my cookie. Fantastic. Wait. No cookie for me. Just you. Fair. Okay, double cookies. There we go. All right. There we go.
Wow. Gaslighting after all of that hard work.
Exactly. Let's shut this down as well.
As it should be.
And look, we're pretty good. We're about 70% into our weekly limits.
Okay.
77-day limit, 70%. Tuesday reset, tomorrow at 1 a.m. So as long as we don't use 30% of our weekly tomorrow morning, we're good.
It's a pretty reasonable amount.
Yeah, pretty. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Did I send you the latest? I did send you the latest package for Hackathon. Anyway, it's on our shared drive. So you can run all the tests in the world that you like and hammer away at it if you like. Also, it's good. You know what you should do, dude? I haven't done. I haven't tested it in the Linux kernel. I've tested it on Mac. So you might want to just do it in Linux.
You're talking the Hackathon?
Yeah. Because I haven't run it in WSL. I've run it on. You've got a Windows machine with WSL, right?
Yeah, I got Windows with WSL, and I also got the Linux, the NVIDIA DGX Sparks.
Yeah, definitely do it on. Yeah. It will work on Linux. There's no doubt about that because it works on Mac. But check it on WSL because I'm pretty convinced it should be fine. But yeah, get Jax to run it. Oh, okay.
Dude, that's on my agenda of things to do. Yeah, here. Let's see. Well, actually, not agenda. Rather, it's timestamped for in 4 days.
Perfect. That's the perfect time. Give it because our last harvest. Yeah. Also test it with the proposed Apify actors because that will be neat.
Yeah. Maybe next Well, it won't be next stream, but the stream after the 22nd, we can go over the results and see how it did.
You could even run it on stream.
Oh,
You could do whatever you want.
we could run it on stream too.
Yeah, you could. You could do it beforehand to make sure that it's all good.
Cheeky.
And then run it on stream. Keep a log of the time if you've not got as well. Keep a log of how long it takes, and also how much it costs on Appify. Because obviously I don't know that data. I'd be curious. I think it's going to be like $5 max.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
That'll be interesting to see.
Right, you're going to take Dakota out?
Yep, about to take Miss Dakota out. I'm sure she's gonna been giving me the side eye, so I had to put her out of the room for a bit. Yeah.
You went quiet. I was like, I know it's Dakota.
Well, hey, and I was thinking too, dude, for the streams, just so that we're hitting like long times, because I mean, hey, that's really what the algo likes. It likes the 6-7 hour streams.
That's insane, though, dude. We've just done 3 hours. Like, surely that's not a bad one.
No, not a bad one at all. But I was thinking, because there's two of us and we're on different time zones entirely, we could always, and especially once we have the basis built out on GitHub where people can download it and stuff, where then we're more so building out features and skills. Who knows? Maybe it's, you build out a skill for 2 hours and then we talk about some things for a bit, and then I go in and I build out something or cover something for 2 hours. And then that way we're really stretching it because we get 10 hours on Restream. So like we could both cover some good stuff on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. Makes sense.
And especially if they're it's like skills, or because I've been working a little bit on my weather trading system. And I think one of the best things I did was I set it up such that it would actually just harvest a ton of data and store it for me. So it has a full like month and a half worth of data to train on and to look at like when I entered trades, when when I exited trades, what were my biggest loss factors. Fun stuff.
Let me guess. Let me be a prediction model. Let me guess. The biggest loss factor was it didn't do what you told it to do.
You know what? That's cheating. That covers such a wide range because yes, that was the biggest loss factor. If I held
the issue with those trading algorithms is literally most of the time it just doesn't do what you tell it to do because you don't set up the architecture in a way that's deterministic. People rely on the model to make the decision and read Claude MDs and all that kind of stuff, equivalents of, instead of actually having a harness. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's difficult, and especially with the trading, you're giving it autonomy for money. I don't know how you have the balls to do it.
Well, I just put in small amounts, so I don't know how that really says much about my balls, but
it means you got small ones.
Yeah, my
I've got non-existent ones. Mine are inverted.
There we go. Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's the sound.
No, man, but it's pretty sweet because here's the thing. On all of the trades that fit my trading approach, right, and actually abided by like what I told it to do, 100% win. 100% win. Everything that it did where I didn't 100% loss.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the biggest factor was how long it held for.
Are you scalping? Or are you still going for obnoxious returns?
Obnoxious. This was all with obnoxious returns as the basis, and still the trading algo. So it's looking for at least actually, and I take it back. It's not as obnoxious as I told you before. It's not double. It's actually only 50% profits daily. Only.
So obnoxious. It's so obnoxious. You're such a greedy.
So I guess we could always, start tuning that one down to
just a bit.
45, 40, 39.
You'd see like
38, 37, 20. Bro, you're just cutting me off the legs.
But 20, like you'd be in and out more often. Your transaction fees are low. You just scalp lower. 20 is not small profit. It's absolutely absurd. That's more than like that beats the FTSE or like beats the NASDAQ or whatever.
Oh, I know. It
Yes,
crushes
it is.
everything because it's not 20% annual, it's 20% daily.
It's even more. It's like
stupid.
it makes hedge funds look amateur. Yeah, like it's so ridiculous.
So starting a little bit unrealistic. You're right, Kem. You're right. You called this. But hey, we're
Telling you,
getting
you're
there.
gonna keep scaling it back, and eventually you're gonna be like, if I can get 5%, but like regular, you'll be in and out all day long. Then you'll officially be back to where I was in 2008 doing DMA algorithm trading with who was it with? Program trading at Deutsche and then Citigroup. Not doing it, working in the I was a BA then, I think, just a BA working the project management team. Nothing that it sounded a lot more impressive at the time, but you know, you start somewhere, don't you?
No, I
Yeah.
think that's very impressive, my friend.
Yeah, well, those days are long gone. Thank God. All right, awesome. Well, then that's it. We'll cut it, and then
wait, real quick. I gotta just tell you. Yeah, this is kind of stupid.
Before you play the exit music, if that's what you're about to drop on me.
Nope. No.
I've got something to tell you too. So I'll hold, but just remember, I've got one thing. I just remembered.
Okay. This is what I wanted to show you first.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So compounding at 5% daily means a daily growth factor of 1.05, right?
Yeah, right, of course.
There we go. Here's our, so it'd realistically be a little bit lower, but still. This would be the gain. So, I mean, maybe I should fine tune it down from 50%.
Yeah. 5.4 billion % is probably a bit obnoxious when you consider that, 20% is hedge fund profits. Yeah. Which is like some of the largest returns. Yeah. So, yeah, I think you're definitely, like I said, it's obnoxious. Yeah. And the thing is, you'll get much more regular returns. Like it might be a lot less in a go. $5 isn't giving you $5 back; it's giving you $1, right?
Oh, that's 20% right there.
Yeah, but you're doing that 30, 40, 50 times in a day, so you're still getting like, and then when you lose, you don't lose big.
Oh no. Okay, so the strategy here wouldn't be lots of small trades. So it wouldn't actually work for that. That's kind of the interesting part, is it wouldn't work for that because what it's doing, and I think this actually works for all trading, at least daily trading. As soon as you understand which direction the river is going to go, like the trading and I say the river because I think about it like a distribution, right? And I think about it like the velocities of a river. So like the middle of the river is moving, I think it's the fastest, and then it, slows down as it gets closer and closer to the edges of the river. And so it's like, which way is the river going to go? And if you start almost like leaning in that way and you're ahead of everyone else that is going in that direction, you can buy it for cheaper at like what would be like a lower velocity, I guess, and then sell it for like the velocity that's in the middle. So you can buy it at like more of an edge of that Gaussian distribution because you know that there are 4 or 5 different types of trading bots on the website that are trading. So you know that it's going to follow some sort of distribution in terms of the way that it like flows, and it's going to at times like overshoot a little bit by the bots because they're going to, things are going to be checked off on the algo that they trade based on. So you're going to have that push over a little bit.
Okay.
So that's kind of my theory with it, is that if you can predict which direction it's going to go in, you can buy for cheaper and then just get ready to sell for a little bit higher.
Yeah, but we're talking about when. Yeah, we're talking about when you sell, though. What your exit.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Yeah,
and I'm saying the number that you've got in mind.
Oh, it's absurd.
Yeah, because the bounce back is far. Okay, cool. So now I'm here. I know it dropped for a second, but I'm here. Okay, cool. The one thing I wanted to raise is we need to work out on Restream how to have some soft, subtle glitch cat music.
Oh yeah, we can.
Because when I was going through that crazy debug, it was so silent, and I was happy to talk it through, but I really wanted to get into like a music zone because that's what I would usually do. And so it was so strange for me to be working through a problem like that with no audio music. I was just like, oh my God, this is like a cold, sterile room. I was like, this is not how I code, you know? So it's like, yeah. So that would be awesome. Let's try and work that out because our glitch soundtrack's awesome.
Wait, can you you can see all the stuff on the side, right? The music and everything.
Yeah, but no, not really. But I don't know how to use it. Show me. Let's do it now. Tell me. Sorry, guys.
We can.
Sorry, guys. This is some live debugging.
There we go. Here's some AI chill music.
Can you hear me clearly over the top?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Keep talking to me for a bit.
Okay. Well, this isn't a bad soundtrack right here.
Yeah.
A little bit of beat to it.
You can turn it down a touch.
Yeah, we can turn it down a little bit here.
A little bit more.
Down a little bit more.
Okay. This is good. Talk to me.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah, so when you come in, it gates. So it goes down a little bit. That's good. So the stream can hear me if I'm talking and I'm just working stuff. Okay, let's test it. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and we can also do custom music. So we can upload our own music.
Yeah, that's what we need. We want the glitch cat stuff. Yeah, we want the glitch cat soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's what, because it's good. Yeah. So.
Okay, I can upload that, or I can string it all together into one soundtrack that runs. Okay,
so we just hit a landmine. It's another runtime issue. We picked that up in C1. How does that sound?
In C1? What's C1?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's the issue I just had. I'm just trying to, like, give the vibes of, like, I've seen a bug. And I wanted you to tell me, like, you're a listener, you're a user, and what's Claude doing? I don't know.
We can't see your screen, by the way.
Make no mistakes. Make no mistakes.
Hey, Kem, you're not sharing.
No, I know. I'm just pretending. Oh, okay. I'm trying to see if the sound is coming through over the music.
Oh, it is, yeah.
If I'm trying to fix something and I'm like, make no mistakes. It's yeah? Okay, cool. This is good. All right, good. So then we just need to upload our music soundtrack. So when I'm coding and I'm in the midst of it and I'm waiting for, especially the boring stuff like codex. Yeah, especially when it's like the boring stuff like what I'm doing. It's like you need a bit of music. All right, cool. All right, brother. Let's call it.
Sweet, my friend. That sounds good. Well, we will end that music. We will drop in here and drop our favorite soundtrack.
See you next stream. I can't hear the soundtrack. I can't hear it.
It's just on you.